tonight. Red Sox played earlier. You just had the baseball hour. We'll touch on the Sox. I got to get into Gerard Mayo, his comments talking out of both sides of his mouth like he's been doing all offseason long, which, again, has anyone had a worse offseason than Gerard Mayo? We'll touch on that in a minute. Drew Bledsoe, remember him? He spoke. He had some comments regarding Tom Brady going into the booth and also rookie quarterback starting right away. Last night we read you the article from Dan Shaughnessy regarding Bill Parcells and his thoughts. So Drew Bledsoe talked today. So we'll play some of that audio for you as well. And we got in or out 8:50 tonight. The musings at 9:50. You never know what happens after 8 o'clock on this show. So if you want to call in, the phone number is 617-779-0985. We're also on YouTube, everybody. You know how we do it. If you're at home, you hit your remote. It still doesn't work. Forget it. You hit your remote, your speaker, and you say YouTube 98.5, and boom. Pops right up on your television. You can also do it on your app or any app, any device. Skaz is here tonight as well. And again, the phone number 617-779-0985. And it's funny, when we do the show, we're always looking for storylines. Like, hey, what's the leadoff take for today? Oh, and then Gerard Mayo just laid it right up for us. Is Gerard Mayo talking out of both sides of his mouth? I think he's been doing it all offseason long. And again, I teased this a little while ago, but has anyone had a worse offseason than Mayo? Right? All the reports about Mayo being an assistant coach with a baseball bat, that didn't go over well. Obviously, the Dynasty documentary did not put the Crafts in a good light. And clearly, I know that Bill Belichick literally left the cupboard bare. So there are all these people that still want to blame Belichick for everything. But this is a new regime. Like, the new regime still can't get it done, still can't acquire free agents, and nobody wants to play here. But also, ownership is still not spending money, no matter what the reports tell you, which is something I really want to get off my chest at some point later on tonight. But I'm not taking the cheese on anything. And I'm not taking the cheese that there's a quarterback competition when it comes to Gerard Mayo and what he's saying. These are the bullet points for today regarding Gerard Mayo. He was asked several QB questions because he wanted them in bunches. He's open to the competition. Brissett, though, still QB1. So what is it? Both sides of your mouth. Is there a competition? And is Brissett QB1? He'll have a decision starting Monday on who the quarterback is, or on Tuesday of next week. To me, that seems like it's already done. We'll get into more of that. All four quarterbacks will play in the preseason finale. Fine. Yay. And Drake May, is he 100% ready to run the huddle from an operational standpoint? But Mayo's saying that there's still a competition at quarterback, maybe in his mind. He's preached competition all offseason long. And I'm kind of getting tired of it because it's clear as day this guy only has so much pull. I'm starting to think it is Elliott Wolf that's running the team. Oh, and you know who's running the team. It's Jonathan. I don't know how much Robert's involved anymore. I don't. I think it's Jonathan, Robin Glazer, then it goes to Elliott Wolf. And then, I don't know, where does it go then? Do they go to Alex Van Pelt and other people for the offense, and then Mayo runs the defense? Too many cooks are in the kitchen here in New England. It's different for us. There was always one guy who made the decision. There was always one guy to blame. So when it comes to this offseason, I have one guy to blame. It's Gerard Mayo. He says one thing, another thing happens. He tells you there's a competition, yet they've set the expectation that Brissett is going to be the number one. The team stinks. Let's just face it. There's no high-end talent. There's no top receivers, and the offensive line is absolutely horrible. So do you want to throw a rookie quarterback into that? That's a big question. I personally think Drake May is the best quarterback on the roster. Doesn't mean he needs to start right away. And I'll double down by saying I don't think he needs to start right away to develop and be a great quarterback. But when he comes out and says there'll be a competition, but that Jacoby Brissett is still currently the number one roster or option on the roster. Which one is it, Gerard Mayo? It almost sounds like they don't have a plan, but at the same time, maybe they haven't even included Gerard Mayo in that plan. Gerard Mayo also confirmed today that Elliott Wolf has the final say when it comes to roster cuts. I lean on the experts in that world, and Elliott is that guy. That's the quote today coming out from practice. So, all along, Gerard Mayo says one thing, but maybe the team has another. Gerard Mayo tells the media one thing, Elliott Wolf and staff have another. He'll tell you about the offense, but he's got to talk to Alex Van Pelt and other people. We've been talking about this all year. I don't know how to evaluate Gerard Mayo to this point. I don't. Maybe Mayo does look at it as he wants to win right away. I'm sure Alex Van Pelt does too. And when it comes to those things, do they really care about the future of the New England Patriots? That's a fact. Like when you work a job, let's just relate for a minute here. Let's just use a radio station, for example. Do you think you can just go into a radio station and change the way their ratings are, or just change or impact? I don't know, guys. You think you can just go somewhere else and the ratings just change? I don't know. But how do you evaluate it? The only thing we can do in this business is look at the ratings and the money that you bring in. That's all you can relate. That's all you can do. That's how you judge and evaluate talent in this business that we work in. But at the same time, don't you want to win right away? Don't you want those ratings right away? Don't you want to make money right away? You don't care about the radio station when you think about those things. Or you don't care about your job when you think about those things because you care about yourself. And I'm wondering, is that where Alex Van Pelt's at? Is that where Gerard Mayo's at? I've heard that they're going to give Mayo a little bit of a leash. I don't know the future of Alex Van Pelt by any means at all. I don't. But I think he wants Jacoby Brissett to run his offense so he can look good and potentially get another job in the league. I also think that Gerard Mayo wants to win and prove that he can coach. And I think he knows that Drake May is the right guy. So I'll tell you this much right now. You look all over social media, you have certain guys that I know have ties to Gerard Mayo. And they'll leak out. Don't be surprised if it's Drake May week 1. I think Mayo wants one thing. I think the team wants another. And in the end, Gerard Mayo's not going to have a say in it. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. And we learned today that it's Elliott Wolf that has the final say, not the head coach in Gerard Mayo. We'll certainly get into more of that coming up here on the other side. We'll start there at 617-779-0985. Also, I think Gerard Mayo's trying to send a message. He's a player's coach. I think he's sending a message to one person. I'll tell you who that person is. And Drake May. He spoke after practice today. We'll let you hear some of his quotes after practice. And again, we'll get into Drew Bledsoe, his comments. The Red Sox played today. In or out, Murray's musings. Skaz is here. I'm Joe Murray. We're here tonight until 11 o'clock right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on
starting offense in a padded practice. During 2 separate periods, he stepped in for Jacoby Brissett for a couple of snaps before the backups came in. All of his first-team reps were handoffs. So yesterday I was going on a rant about if there really is a competition, don't you think that Drake May would take snaps from the starting center? Because as we know, it's really hard to snap a football for the Patriots. It's really hard to do that. And I've been giving demonstrations all week on how to snap footballs, by the way. So today he goes in and gets 3 reps with the starters and hands them all off. Yeah, I'm telling you all right now. I said it yesterday too. Don't bite the cheese on this one. Don't bite the cheese. Listen, I would love to see Drake May too for an excitement factor. I personally think he's ready to go. I don't like hearing that he's not ready because I think he's ready. I do. It's the Patriots that aren't. I've said that a million times. I think he's ready, but personally for his own benefit and for the future of the franchise and with the schedule, the way that they open the season, I think it's best he comes off the bench and learns. I do. I think it's great for him to have a notebook, a headset, listen to the calls coming in or out, maybe at least learning what Van Pelt wants. But when it comes to Mayo and Van Pelt, do they both have the same agenda or different? You know, I think Mayo was always the guy in waiting. It just happened a little bit faster. Van Pelt's a guy that got fired from calling plays. And when Stefanski took over, they actually made it to the playoffs and had some success. So now Van Pelt's back in, running an offense that he's comfortable with a guy who's done it before, with some other players that have been in the system. I just wonder where Drake May fits into that equation. So he says all the right things, right? And I think he knows. In this league, you need some guys, mentors, etc. Especially in that sport. I think football is one of them where you do look back on some guys that helped you along the way. I fully agree with that. But this whole quarterback competition thing, I'm not buying it. And I think it's a message to Jacoby Brissett. This is about getting Brissett right. That's what it's about. For the offense to look better this year, for them to maybe move the ball a little bit but don't turn the ball over as well, I think Brissett early on is the right guy. I don't love Jacoby Brissett. I know what the guy is. Do I think that's going to help the team win? No. That's why Drake May, the unknown, could they have something here? Could he elevate some players, elevate the offense? I think that's completely possible. Could he? I mean, he's the meal ticket. Let's face it. Drake May's the meal ticket. For any of these guys, Mayo, Van Pelt, all these receivers, the line, even the defense for that matter, Drake May is the meal ticket for the New England Patriots. He's also the meal ticket to bring anybody here because you can give him the bag according to reports and people still don't want to come to New England. So Gerard Mayo last Friday, when asked about Drake May and what he needs to do to improve on potentially to start in week 1, his quote was, I think first and foremost, it's just the entire operation. I think it needs to be faster. I think he needs to get those guys in the huddle faster, get them out of the huddle faster, get to the line, and just be on point. So he said that last Friday. So what did Gerard Mayo say today when they asked him? And asked if he's comfortable with May running the operation if he has to start? His quote, 100%. I think he's ready to run a huddle. So what changed from Friday to Monday, bro? What changed? And then he tells you that, oh yeah, we'll know who the quarterback is on Monday or Tuesday. Well, I don't have to tell you, but I'll know. He either already knows or has no clue. He either already knows or has no clue at all. So I don't know how to evaluate Mayo by any means. But what I can tell you is this guy's got no control. He's the head coach of a Patriots team that's run by Elliott Wolf because Elliott Wolf is being told what to do by Jonathan and Robin. That's what's going on. That sucks. Like, I get it. We're all excited for the shiny new toy. And I think he's the best quarterback on the roster. That's my opinion. But the plan all along has been for this guy to sit and learn. And that's what's best for the Patriots long term. Is that what's best for Gerard Mayo long term? I think I wanted to throw this one out there as well. How much is ownership involved? This is their meal ticket too. They're 5 years removed from Tom Brady. They're on their second quarterback now. Third, if you want to throw in Zappy. The rebuild, this thing's a slow burn. And if they miss on May, now you're going to be looking at 8-10 years of sucking. So, how much are they involved in this? Do they want the slow burn? Do they want to win right away? I think Brissett plays better this week. I think he's been the plan all along to start. But does Gerard Mayo have the final say overall? Nope. I think he's pulling for Drake May. I think he wants Drake May. Maybe this is how he's pushing back, is through the media. Or it's for the fan base. Playing up to the fans. I told you last week around this time, when Matthew Judon got traded, there was a buzz. We had our highest viewers on YouTube, calls all night long. People were talking about the Patriots. Well, now, what's everyone talking about every day? Hey, you think Drake May can start? Do you think there really is a quarterback competition? Everyone we've had on the show all week long. Hey, so is there really a quarterback competition? There's a buzz. That's why Mayo's doing this. Again, I think he might think Drake May can be the guy. But what's the plan all along? What's ownership think? Who's really making the final decisions? Mayo said it himself. It's Elliott Wolf. Also, I wanted to throw this out there as well. It's not just the quarterback that we need to be looking at when it comes to the offense. I saw this earlier, but Doug Hyde had this from the Herald. In recent practices, the top unit at wide receiver was Tyquan Thornton, Polk, and Douglas. Those were the three top receivers that the offense has been working with. I don't know how I feel about that. Does that mean Tyquan Thornton's going to be one of the starting X-receivers on this team? I don't know how I feel about that group. Also, one other thing. We talked about this last night. What is the identity for the New England Patriots? I don't know. But I'll tell you, based off Gerard Mayo's offseason, the identity is he's got zero control. He's just trying to hype the fans up, say the right thing to the media. He's a yes man, Skaz. That's who's a yes man. Gerard Mayo, yes man. Did he handle the Matthew Judon thing well? Maybe. Maybe he did. Maybe. But this whole quarterback competition, there's never been one. I'm not biting the cheese. You're going to read people tweet and write about it. It's all fluff, baby. Don't eat it. Don't. It's Jacoby Brissett. I think he's trying to send a message. He's a player's coach. I think Brissett's the guy who wins the battle. I think May will be ready to go. But it's Jacoby Brissett's team, and especially if they want to win early for their own personal merits. Alex Van Pelt wants a veteran in there who knows the system, not some rookie who can't run in and out of the huddles. But it's funny. Last Friday, it's all about the operation and the huddle faster. And when he's asked today, is he running the operation and he ready to start? And they say 100%. What changed in less than a week? Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. We got Patriots on the board as well. And the Red Sox played today. I'll tell you what that score was coming up right now in Sports Hub Headlines.
Sports Hub Headlines.
All right, Red Sox winners earlier today, 4-1 over Houston. A huge win for the team based off what they have upcoming, but 4-1 winners today.
My job here is to cancel the noise, but I listen, and I know where we're at and how to use the noise to our advantage, And, we had a great road trip. Actually, we only had one bad game against the Astros in 6 days, right? It was when Pax got hurt. So we have a good team. We know we do. The cool thing about it is, like, they don't get caught up on the whole thing. They're humble, they're hungry. We're going to enjoy the off day tomorrow, and we got a really good team coming to Fenway. Different kind of brand. I mean, very similar to us, So it should be fun. All the athletes out there, and we just got to be ready for that.
All right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here as well. We like to hit on all the topics in the first hour and then get into the good stuff. I'm still thinking about that macaroni and cheese chicken sandwich, which I got a lot of buzz about today, Skaz. A lot of people were very interested in that sandwich. But that was Alex Cora after the Red Sox 4-1 win today. Shout out to the bullpen for the Red Sox. What a day for them. Absolutely a great day. So Cooper Criswell got the start tonight. 4 hits and a run in 4 2/3 innings. Josh Winkowski came in, pitched a scoreless 6th. He gets the win. Chris Martin came in, struck out 1 in the 9th for his first save. The Astros had multiple chances, right? They had multiple chances. Greg Weissert had a wild pitch that I think made things a little bit interesting. And then John Singleton struck out at one point. And then Wilyer Abreu caught that foul ball. And then, what is that? Brendan Bernardino came in. But overall, Jarren Duran, 4 for 4 today. Led off with a double before scoring on a 1-out single by Tristan Casas early on in the game. Ceddanne Rafaela doubled off the wall. Put the Sox up 2-1. Masataka Yoshida continues his torrid pace. Singled to start the 7th inning. Stole second base with 1 out. And then Rafaela doubled again. What a performance today. And really, what a great performance today by the rookies. Ceddanne Rafaela and Hamilton. Rafaela doubled twice with 2 RBI. David Hamilton added the solo home run in the 9th. The Sox need all the insurance runs that they can get at this point with the way their bullpen is. But Rafaela's first double was off Justin Verlander, as we mentioned, gave him a 2-1 lead in that one. Drove in another run later on in the game. But those 2 RBI, they were with 2 outs. That was huge for the team. And Alex Cora absolutely raved about the rookie, saying he's been putting up good at-bats for the last 2 months or so. He goes, in the biggest moments, he's been able to slow it down. He's doing a lot of good things. Hamilton's home run to right field off Seth Martinez today made it 4-1. That was also with 2 outs in the 9th inning. I mean, the Red Sox, let's face it, they were swept by the Astros at home earlier in the month. And they win this series with a 6-5 victory, but blowing the game 2 nights before that. I think it says a lot about this team. They can compete with the best teams in the game. Astros are one of them. Their bullpen has absolutely failed them, but today the bullpen was outstanding. You look at what that bullpen did today, nobody would have believed you if you told them that. Nobody. The bullpen was absolutely outstanding today. And really, quite frankly, Houston couldn't do much at the plate. They had their chances. There was a few times where I went, oh, boy, here it goes. Oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be the time. But absolutely outstanding effort today by the Boston Red Sox and their bullpen. The Red Sox bullpen, their last 5 games. I saw this from Boston Sports Info. The last 5 games, over 16 innings pitched, a 1.65 ERA, 4 walks, 15 strikeouts. This is what they planned it out to be. Sims, right? Rivera. They're starting to straighten it out a little bit. They're starting to straighten it out. I don't know if it's too little, too late. But if this bullpen can keep it up, excuse me, Garcia, I don't know why I said Rivera. Garcia had an inning today, 2 strikeouts. Martin, as we mentioned. Bernardino came in and got a big strikeout. Weissert, although he kind of struggled a bit, had 18 pitches, but still got that strikeout to get out of it. You went Criswell, Kelly, Winkowski, Weissert, Bernardino, Garcia, and Martin, and gave up 1 run on the day? Win. And now the Sox are off tomorrow, and they take on Arizona. We mentioned this last night, but they have themselves a very difficult schedule. And I think this now makes them, 3.5 games back? I have to look at the standings again. Kansas City, they've been on a roll of late. Cora told you he already looks at the standings. But Lucas Sims and Luis Garcia, looking at what Garcia did today, I already mentioned the 16 games now, if you want to add in the 17 games. They pitched 17 innings. The ERA was at 10 at one point. It's the home run numbers, man. This team, when they don't give up home runs, they are absolutely lethal. But get a big win today for the Red Sox. So your thoughts on that at 617-779-0985. The next now 4 games, or would it be 3 games, are very, very important for the Red Sox. And they will get some reinforcements. Liam Hendricks will be coming in. Justin Slayton, he's going to come back into the mix. Their starting pitching has been better, and it helps out the bullpen. Maybe not so much today, but the bullpen took care of business. And you know what, Skaz? I asked you yesterday, do you think we can get 2 more weeks out of this team? Well, you got an off day tomorrow, right?
There's another day.
They got another day. Again, the Patriots play on Sunday. Cut down day is on Tuesday. Can they get you through the weekend? So we'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. Anything you want to hit on, Skaz? I started Drake May. Oh, you by the way, you sent it to me earlier. You go, sounds like Drake May may be the starter. Are you biting the cheese?
No, I'm not biting the cheese, but it certainly seems like they're feeding us the cheese, Joe. They want you to bite that cheese.
It's like a charcuterie board. You know? It's like a charcuterie board. You know, they got the finest cheeses in the kingdom, right? Oh, you want the pepper jack cabbage? They got it. Yeah, they got it all. The nice little charcuterie board, and they're like, "Yeah, it could happen." Drake May, here you go. Well, as we mentioned last night, Bill Parcells talked about some of the quarterbacks early on in his career, and some guys maybe who could have started early, but he held back on. Tony Romo was one of them. One of them, though, who he didn't hold back on was Drew Bledsoe, who is on Good Morning Football today. I don't know. This guy's having like a resurgence in his life. Maybe it's all that wine he's drinking. I don't know.
He was a big hit at the roast.
Oh, my God. He was phenomenal. You know what, though? I got to tell you this. In actuality about Drew Bledsoe, he really almost died. Like, literally almost died. He didn't realize what happened with his lung. Dude gave everything up for the Patriots. He really did. There were years, dude, they had some really bad offensive lines. He took it. They also paid him, though. Let's not forget that.
$100 million man.
The first. He was in, like, Jerry Maguire. He's been in plenty of movies.
Show me the money, Joe.
That's right. He was in Something About Mary. So, I mean, just the guy did very well for himself. And again, you know me, I never feel bad for people who make a lot of money. But when it all kind of ended here and Brady took over and Bledsoe went elsewhere, he had that good year in Buffalo. And then from there, it kind of just... And the talk was, Bledsoe sucked. Oh, Brady was the best. Now the guy is like funny and relaxed and looks back at things and like, yeah, I'm the guy that Tom Brady had to beat out. It's kind of like a flex almost.
Well, I do think there is something different. And, we always like the lame excuse when your team loses in the playoffs. You always feel a little bit better about it if the team that, beat you in the playoffs goes on to win it all.
Like the
I
Bruins.
guess if you're Drew Bledsoe, the guy that beat you out turned out to be the greatest quarterback that's ever walked the planet. I think you can sleep a little easier at night knowing that.
Yeah, and he's got his wine, vineyards, and all that. Yeah, I think that's where he's at in his life. Well, now I could just bust this guy's balls forever. And he's got a ring. I know some people don't want to credit that ring. He did start 2 games that year. Came in the playoff game and helped them win it. So I'm actually happy for Drew Bledsoe. He spoke about that guy, Tom Brady, that you're talking about, who will be broadcasting for Fox this year. We'll let you hear what he said about that. And young quarterbacks in the NFL, mentions Drake May as well. We'll let you hear that audio coming up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here as well. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster, what's your initial thoughts as someone who knows him pretty well?
I'm sure he'll do a great job at it. And the thing that people look at they miss when they talk about broadcasters and whether they succeed or fail, it's the guys that do the work that are great at it. And it's really that simple. You look at Aikman, you look at Romo, these guys that broke in and like everybody looks at Romo like he's predicting the future. Oh, how did he predict that play, right? He went to practice. He saw what they ran from that formation, and that's practice, and that's what they did, right? So I know that Tommy will work it to death. I will get kind of tired of his squeaky ass voice, but I know he'll do a great job calling the games.
Drew Bledsoe. Squeaky ass voice. Man, I don't know. That guy is just so Drew Bledsoe was my favorite player growing up. See, guys, again, I'm 42 years old, so my favorite players growing up were Mo Vaughn in baseball, Drew Bledsoe in football, Reggie Lewis was my favorite basketball player, and I think everybody loved Cam Neely. So, Ray Bork, who's my guy now. We're friends now. Big food guy, by the way. Ray Bork. Got to get over there to Tresca some night. But anyways, those were my favorite players growing up. So, I think about it. Mo Vaughn, it wasn't about the money, and then he left. Drew Bledsoe gets basically whacked, and Tom Brady takes over. Reggie, we know that story. That was very sad. And then, Ray Bork had to leave to go win somewhere else. The kids today don't get it. They had David Ortiz, Tom Brady, Paul Pierce. You name the Bruin. Bergeron, you name it. You don't know what we went through. Love where Drew Bledsoe's at in life. I really do. Man, for him to take shots at Tom Brady is just so good. It's so good. Oh, some guy's real mad at me because I mentioned some guy mentioned that he got mad that I said that Drew Bledsoe was in Something About Mary. Did you know that Drew Bledsoe was the first choice to be Brett Favre in the movie? So that's why I mentioned Drew Bledsoe, Something About Mary. Brett Favre was actually the third choice. First choice was Drew Bledsoe. I'm trying to remember who the second choice was now that I think about it. Oh, they wanted Steve Young second. That's who it was. And Steve loved the script, but said he couldn't do it because it was R-rated and he's Mormon, so he didn't want to do it because of that. And then they ended up with Brett Favre. So sorry if you're mad at me for mentioning that Drew Bledsoe was in Something About Mary, but he was the first choice, and that's why I said it. It's actually better than it's Brett Favre, to be honest with you. Anyways. Drew Bledsoe just having coffee, hanging out with the crew at Good Morning Football. And, well, Drew Bledsoe knows a little something about being drafted number 1 overall, going to a hard coach in Bill Parcells. And obviously there's a quarterback competition here, which I'm not buying. But what does Drew Bledsoe think about young quarterbacks starting out in the NFL? Let's hear from old number 11.
It's such an individual decision for each quarterback, right? Some quarterbacks, I felt like I was ready to play, right? I felt like I, was ready to get in there and go. But then you've seen other quarterbacks that sit for a year or two, and it's very beneficial for them. And so I think that coaches, as they're looking at these guys, they have to determine, okay, is it the right time for this guy? Is he ready to go now? Because you also have to take into account is your team ready for them to play? Because you put a guy in there early and your team's not at that level yet. Now you can mess with that guy's confidence and mess with the rest of his career by throwing him out there when your team's not ready to support him. So there are a lot of things that go into it. I don't like the idea that sometimes there's pressure to put these guys on the field just because of where they were drafted. That's the wrong way to approach it. You got to look at the guy and look at whether he's actually ready to go on the field and whether your team is ready for him to be on the field.
Great answer. Great answer. And you know what? I bet you he's tapped in. The team is not ready to have Drake May be their quarterback. I will tell you this. In 1993, I don't think the team was ready for Drew Bledsoe either. But your backups were Scott Secules, right? He was one of the guys. And no offense to Zolak, who actually helped them win a game and was really, at the time, Zolak was looked at as, hell yeah, Zolak's going to be the backup to Bledsoe. Like they were a duo. But who was the best option? It was the number one overall pick who had a cannon of an arm from Washington State. But Drew Bledsoe's team, I'll bring you back to 1993. Skaz, you listen to this group. And actually, now that I look at it, how terrible was it? I don't know. But Drew Bledsoe had Leonard Russell as his running back, who rushed for 1,000 yards in 93. Ben Coates was the tight end, had 8 touchdowns. Bruce Armstrong was one of the best tackles in football. Now, Eugene Chung was a bust. First round bust. The line was not good. Pat Harlow, Mike Arthur, those kind of guys. Defensively, though, they were trying to put it together. Andre Tippett was still there, had 8.5 sacks. Vincent Brown was the Undertaker. Todd Collins was there. Maurice Hurst was on the outside. They had little pieces, probably better pieces than the Patriots have now. So being quite honest with you, I think Drew Bledsoe went into a better situation with Bill Parcells than Drake May is with Gerard Mayo and the team. Fact. I think Bledsoe knows the team's not ready for Drake May, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on the team to play the kid. But I had to do it. I had to look up 93 to now. I think Bledsoe went into a better situation, probably helped that he had a Hall of Fame coach to play with. Your thoughts there at 617-779-0985. Drew Bledsoe's always welcome on the show. Mo Vaughn, Nomar, any old timer from when I was a kid, you are always welcome. Always, always. 617-779-0985. I haven't given love to our YouTube chat tonight. Ryan and Malden's in there. I'm a lucky guy is in there. Chuck Olson is in there. Jay Buck, David, Tom G, the crew. They're all going. Ein Bein's in there as well. Last night we took a lot of calls on buffets. Still working on amusings for tonight's guys. Not much out there. Today was a slow news day. All right, we'll hit the headlines here, and we're going to talk to Evan Lazar coming up in just a little bit. But what about Drake May and starting at quarterback? And is his time sooner than later? We'll get into all that coming up here. But first, let's get the Sports Up headlines.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston. Patriots! It's an all-new season for the Patriots. Wow. And you'll hear it all right here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Your home of the Pats. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Red Sox 4-1 winners today. They got an outstanding effort from their bullpen. Awesome job. You gotta hear this list of guys. Criswell got the start, 4 2/3. Then it was Kelly, Winkowski, Weiser, Bernardino, Garcia, Martin. 0 runs. 0. 3, 4, 5 strikeouts. Criswell gave you 4. That's 9 on the day. And they got great effort from their rookies, Hamilton and Rafaela. They're off tomorrow. They begin a series with Arizona on Friday night. Patriots back out on the practice field. They prepare for Sunday's game versus Washington. Badarian Lowe left practice today with an upper body injury. Mike Purcell was released, and Bo Nix has been named the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, the 12th overall pick. Headlines, they are brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Get started today with your 20-pound summer slim down. The results are fast, easy, and they start your very first week. Awaken180weightloss.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is in 30 minutes.
You want to talk sports? We want to talk sports.
Squeeze the chicken and open the mouth.
It's like we were meant for each other.
This is why you need us.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Some of your teammates were saying after Thursday, they thought you maybe might have turned a corner. You just kind of looked more confident than everything else coming at, and then followed that up with practice. Did you feel something different in that game Thursday to give you a little bit more confidence?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things I can take and kind of move forward with. Things I thought I did well. Still just, dropped a snap, little things, here and there. But same time, I think, more and more reps out here and more and more ball. I feel like more and more in this offense. Yeah, kind of find a groove, get more comfortable. So excited. Was out there. It was fun, last Thursday night. And excited to get back out there again this Sunday.
All right, back there, 98.5 the Sports Hub. Every time I hear that kid, I like him more. I don't know why. Do you ever watch King of the Hill?
No, I know he's a propane salesman. I think that's all I really know.
Propane, Bobby. He had a best friend named Bill who was like the star growing up, like the athlete, but now he's just the press man. There's Dale who was obviously in the service. And then they have another friend named Boomhauer who nobody can ever understand what he's saying, And Drake May reminds me of Boomhauer. No, man, just taking those snaps, man. Just going no dang internet, man. Click, 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 naked chicks. That's how he sounds. Every time I hear him, just getting out there today, 100%, 69 in-house practices, joint practices, 2 preseason games, training camp, going over, just keep working hard. I love the kid. I don't know what it is. I'm in on Drake May, everyone. I'm in. I went down there one day, one practice, and I looked at it was like the 4 of them lined up, the 4 quarterbacks. Joe Milton fits the part. Like, you look at him, you're like, that dude's probably fast and can throw. But then you see Drake May, and you're like, damn, 6'5", rocket arm, can move, cool, got a little bit of swag. Dude fits the part. And I bring this up all the time, so I know we have new listeners. These kids in college, and in his sake, he got a lot of starts in college. He sat behind Sam Howell, played over 20 games, but got a ton of snaps and reps. But in college, these guys can practice year-round with the team. In the NFL, you only get to work in season. Once the year ends, you can't work out with the group anymore. They might let you in the facility to work out, but it's not like you're working out as a team. In college, they have captains practices all the time. Drake May has probably taken more snaps than anybody. And I'm talking Michael Penix, who didn't play this week. I mean, look at Bo Nix. Ready to go. He's going to be the starter in Denver now. Caleb Williams played at USC. Had a lot of turmoil and controversy, but still the number 1 pick. Look what he's doing out there. Jaden Daniels, the same thing. Dude ascended at LSU. Came into the combine, became the number 2 overall pick. He's ready to go. He's the starter. We'll see him Sunday, hopefully. Drake May is seasoned right now. What I mean by seasoned, he's taken a lot of reps. And I personally think that Jacoby Brissett was using camp to get back in shape. Got his $8 million, was told he's going to be the starter, and maybe Drake May is passing him. Maybe Drake May is a little bit more crisp than him right now. Maybe Gerard Mayo sees that, but the plan all along was for him to sit because it's what's best for the future of the Patriots. But is the future of the Patriots good for Gerard Mayo? Is it good for Alex Van Pelt or any of these other guys? No. And I'm reading from Evan Lazar, who we're going to have in a few minutes here. But after 16 in-house practices, 1 joint practice, 2 preseason games, training camp, it's over for the Pats. 2 more practices after today. They'll be open to the media. Gerard Mayo has structured the lead up to Sunday's preseason finale like a mock regular season week. They had the off day on Tuesday. The Patriots had practice today. They'll have it till Friday. Then they'll travel to Washington on Saturday. Gerard Mayo said that every healthy player on the roster will play against the Washington Commanders. The team then quickly will turn the page to roster cuts on Tuesday. It's a really big week for the Patriots, who have a ton of unanswered questions, and one of them is at quarterback, or is it? Coach Mayo said that the team has yet to name a starting quarterback. Today he says that Drake May can 100% run a huddle. Jacoby Brissett's still the front runner. But Drake May is making significant strides. And now it's a matter of when, not if. When will Drake May take over as the starter for the New England Patriots? But it doesn't mean the rookie has to play right away. It doesn't. Here's one that happened today that I'm kind of interested in. Vidarian Lowe, people have been talking about him at left tackle. He left today with an upper body injury. I'll say this, when you're an offensive lineman, it's almost easier to play with a lower body injury than an upper body injury. I know, because when you think about it, low center of gravity is generally how you go when you're one-on-one as a lineman. But you're able to at least hold your center of gravity if you have a lower leg injury. When it's an upper body, if it's like a pectoral muscle or your tricep, it's a lot harder to play. And I'm speculating. I don't know what the injury is. But if he left because of an upper body injury, they're either being precautionary or it's something to worry about. They've already said this guy is the left tackle job. If he's not the guy, do they need to go find a left tackle? Are they fine with putting Caden Wallace there, which was one of their projections early on anyways? Can Chuks Okorafor play there? I don't love Vidarian Lowe. I've heard that he's made some really good strides. Actually, Michael Nwenu has said great things about his development. This guy was a 6th-round pick, was given up on with the Vikings, came to the Patriots, had some struggles, but he's really worked his ass off in camp. It's a blow for what they're trying to do. And he's a big dude, heavy guy, but he's progressed. They like him. Does this now throw a rookie into the mix? Does this maybe keep a roster spot for Chuks Okorafor? I think Chuks is on the roster anyways. But does this now help Calvin Anderson or someone like that? It's another reason why Drake May should not play right away. As Drew Bledsoe said, the pressure to play these kids early. And some teams aren't ready to play these kids. The Patriots aren't ready to play Drake May. Their left tackle goes down today. They're just waiting for that 3rd waiver wire claim to maybe someone else to pop up. There was someone that was just released from Arizona. Remember, Skaz, you Googled his name yesterday? And I think it said he gave up like 8 sacks or whatever. Woof. The offensive line's still a problem, everybody. They're going into their final preseason game on Sunday, and their left tackle just walked off the field today. They are not ready. That offensive line, although I thought they've protected pretty well, we're going to get a good look with Washington. And I don't know what the Commanders are going to do right now. I don't know if they're playing all their guys. But they have a pretty interesting team. I mean, a while back, they'd have a bunch of 1st-round picks on their defensive line. They still got Darren Payne, big tackle. Jonathan Allen drafted in the 1st round. Dorrance Armstrong comes over from Dallas. Bobby Wagner's now in there for that team. Washington's a nice little group. Nice little group defensively. And they drafted, what's the kid's name? Sanders, big corner from Michigan. I'm actually kind of interested to see him. But as far as the offense goes for Washington, you guys know about Terry McLaurin. They brought in Jamison Crowder this year. They drafted Luke McCaffrey in the 3rd round. They're starting a rookie at left tackle this year, Brandon Coleman. He's from TCU. I think the Pats might have been looking at him as well. You'll probably get a good look at Marcus Mariota this week as well. They have Sam Hartman. Trace McSorley's on their team, guys. He's there. They got 5 quarterbacks. Woof. They have an interesting running back trio, actually. Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, now at the Washington Commanders, and then Chris Rodriguez, they drafted last year in the 5th round, but he played at Kentucky. Kid was really good. I'm interested to see what this Washington team can do against New England this week, and Mike Purcell was released today, which I'm curious why. Did Farms and Aquale kind of move up the roster a little bit there? I thought Purcell was pretty good on run defense. Anyways, we'll ask Evan Lazar. He is from Patriots.com. His thoughts on everything happening with the New England Patriots. I brought up King of the Hill, and then here comes the memes. Eddie says that Bill from King of the Hill was a cartoon version of Claude Julien. And I can't unsee that right now. Wow. Chris says, Joe, I'm a couple of years younger than you, but I understand Mo Vaughn was an awesome dude. I broke his window at his new Lexus playing street hockey in the garage. He wasn't upset about it. That's a cool story. I broke Mo Vaughn's window. Anyways, we'll talk to Evan Lazar, Patriots.com. We'll do that next, coming up here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray.
Back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Got Skaz here tonight as well. We're watching Hawaii versus Florida right now. Little League World Series. Need a big comeback from the Rainbows. Got to keep our eyes on that. We've been talking Patriots. Gerard Mayo, Elliott Wolf, Jonathan Kraft. Who's in charge of the New England Patriots? We'll ask Evan Lazar. He of Patriots.com and plenty of podcasts all over the internet. Joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Evan, who's in charge of the decisions for the New England Patriots right now?
Well, I guess it depends on what we're talking about. The personnel decisions, Elliott Wolf. Elliott Wolf's in charge of the personnel. I do believe Gerard Mayo when he says that the guys that actually get to go on the field on Sundays here coming up soon will be his decision for the most part. But if you're asking about the quarterbacks and Drake May, that's an organizational decision, as I'm sure it is for most organizations in that spot. You know, when you draft a guy that high in the draft and he's the future of the franchise, that's not going to be a decision that one person makes on his own. So that's a long-winded answer, but I would say that if I had to say, you know, who does the buck stop with, it's Elliott Wolf.
All right, if Evan Lazar was making the decisions or part of the collaborative approach, what's Evan Lazar's decision on who should be the Week 1 quarterback?
Right now, I'd say it's probably Jacoby Brissett. And I understand that we're all excited and we all want to see Drake May. We want to see more of Drake May. But the big thing here that I look at with Drake May is that it's not about September 2024 for him and his development. And I'm not saying that he should sit out the entire year or even close to it, but that first month of the season, we've heard it so often in the Belichick era that it's an extension of the preseason, Joe. And that's how I sort of look at it, too. Let Jacoby Brissett go out there. It's a difficult first month. There are a couple of road games in there that are going to be hard. Primetime game against the Jets. Go out there. Let's see what the offensive line looks like. Let's let Alex Van Pelt call plays for a month before they throw Drake May in there. And maybe you have a better idea of what you are offensively at that point. Then around week 5 or 6, we can start talking about Drake May playing quarterback.
Have you seen development in Drake May?
I definitely have. I mean, look, I think the biggest thing that I see with Drake May now compared to what he was earlier in this training camp is his decisiveness has improved leaps and bounds. And I think a lot of that confidence came from how he played against the Eagles last Thursday night in the preseason. And we've seen that continue over into practice this week. He's a lot more sure of himself out there, a lot more decisive with his decisions. There's not as much pausing or hitching in his throws or double clutching when he's out there now. You see him playing a little bit more looser, a little bit more freer. And I do, to their credit, believe that they have improved his footwork quite a bit. It's definitely still a work in progress, but his rhythm and his feet is significantly better. His base width, he's not as close together with his feet and off balance while he throws. So I do think they've improved that quite a bit from when they got their hands on him, let's say, in May to now. And they deserve credit for that, even though I'm not exactly in love with how they've handled it. Big picture, I do think they've developed him pretty well from a mechanical standpoint.
Well, I'm glad you said that. That's why I'm asking you what you think, because I feel like the way that they've handled some things, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. And I get it, right? The media, you got to say some things to get the fans still interested. The projections are very low for the team. So last week, right, Gerard Mayo was asked about what Drake May needs to do to improve to potentially start week 1. This was on Friday. And he talked about the operation, and he needs to be faster and getting guys out of the huddle faster. And I believe when you guys asked him today, Mayo said, he's comfortable now running the operation. And he said 100%. I think he's ready to run a huddle. What changed from Friday to today?
Yeah, Gerard Mayo's tune has changed on this maybe slightly. I don't necessarily think his messaging about who's starting has changed as much as some other people do. But Gerard Mayo definitely seemed more sold post-Eagles preseason game about Drake May than he did before that. So something that Drake May did in that game Some of the things that Elliot Wolf said also when we talked to him earlier this week about the calmness and the poise that Drake May played with in that game, it seemed to catch the coach's eye that he looked a lot better in the game than maybe they were expecting going in, especially based off of how things went on Tuesday in the joint practice last week. I'm not necessarily sure that the top brass in Foxborough thought that Drake May was going to play that well in the game on Thursday. So I think that impressed them. And, this whole process to me has been over before it began. I really feel strongly that Jacoby Brissett was always their plan to start the season. And it was just a matter of, could Drake May make up enough ground that he could play this year, period. Not just start week 1 or start week 5 or whatever, but even get on the field in year 1 at all. And that, to me, that needle has moved in his favor. But I always think that this was the plan, that Jacoby Brissett was going to play. And I know a lot of people have made a little bit about today with the practice reps, with Drake May taking some first-team reps. But the biggest thing that I saw at a practice today was that those first-team reps were backup reps, because what they did today was a regular season practice. This was a full-blown regular season practice where they were going up against a scout team defense that was working off cards that are presumably the Commanders' plays. That's what Mayo indicated earlier in the day. And so Drake May got 1 or 2 reps towards the end of the first team period with the starting offensive line and David Andrews. And that's exactly what would happen in the game week, so that in case the backup has to get thrown in there because of injury, that he has at least a couple of reps with the first team guys under his belt during the week. So I wish I could come on here and say that I thought that this was moving in Drake May's favor by him getting those first team reps, but I actually think it's the opposite. I think I'm almost ready to call this for Jacoby Brissett at this point.
Oh, I agree with you on that. And you're just been down there for years, right? You see how Belichick did things, and I know it's a new regime now, but working off cards, that's something that Belichick used to always do. Now they're doing it. I agree with you. I do feel like that all this stuff that Mayo is saying is trying to motivate Jacoby Brissett. I think he was a little upset with what happened last week with that turnover and all this talk about there being a competition. I think he's sending him a message. I mean, the guy got $8 million. He's already been told he's the starter. Like, you might have to motivate him. I call it a kick in the ass. Sometimes you got to do that to some of these veterans.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I really feel like Jacoby Brissett started out the summer pretty strongly, especially the first week in pads. I really felt like he was clear cut above Drake May as the better quarterback. But, you talked about how I've been around, some quarterback competitions at this point. And the two that I can remember off the top of my head are obviously Mac Jones versus Cam in 2021. But then actually the Panthers came into Gillette for a joint practice in the Matt Rule era. And they had Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold going on in their quarterback competition. And in both instances, the quarterbacks all shared first-team reps, right? So, like, Cam got first-team reps and Matt got full-on live first-team reps. The same thing with the Carolina Panthers. They did half with Sam Darnold. They did half with Baker Mayfield. That's never happened all summer long here and with the Patriots with Drake May. And I actually felt, too, Joe, that after practice we spoke to Drake May today, and he more or less kind of spilled the beans about it, or at least what he's feeling about it. I mean, he was asked about the first-team reps with David Andrews, and he said, well, I'm one play away from playing as the backup. So I'm not saying that they've told him already that he's the backup, but it definitely seems like he's seeing the writing on the wall that, well, if I was going to play week 1, and I would have already been getting snaps, with the first-team offense at this point of the offseason or at this point of the summer, and I'm not. So Jacoby's been the guy the whole summer. Why would they just pivot now a couple of weeks before the regular season? That's just not very realistic.
All right, Evan Lazar joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, senior reporter and host of the Patriots Catch 22 podcast at Patriots.com. We got to give you the proper introduction there. What happened at left tackle today with Vidarian Lowe?
Yeah, he tweaked something. Looked like a back or, kind of torso type of injury. He left practice. Caden Wallace took his place, and that was another one of those things where on the surface it's like, oh, good, the rookie's starting to push Vidarian Lowe at left tackle, but this was more of an injury situation, it looked like, and he tweaked something. We'll see tomorrow if he's back out there, and he should play on Sunday if he's healthy, I would think. I don't think he's in the entrenched starter category that he wouldn't play in that game. So hopefully, honestly, I know when I say hopefully it's something serious, that people are like, well, Vidarian Lowe's not very good, but I actually think that he has made some progress this summer and maybe is getting a little bit unfairly criticized just because it's not the situation is Elliott Wolf's fault, right? They don't have a better left tackle on the roster than Vidarian Lowe. That's not Vidarian Lowe's fault that he's the best left tackle that they have. And I think that he's actually has improved a little bit with his technique. And they were talking about a lot of, his length and being able to, keep pass rushers at bay, using his length a little bit better and his hand placement. And I see that on the film. I do believe that that's accurate. So he has gotten a little bit better. That's not saying that he's Joe Thomas, but he has improved. And I do think that Caden Wallace is another one of those rookies that could he probably play week one if he had to? Yes, but would I say that it's the best thing for him? Probably not.
Yes, and when it comes to offensive line play, I think last year we got a bad look at him at right tackle. And there's a big difference here. The first thing people go to when it's left tackle is blind side, but there are different there's strong side right? There's all these other type things that you have to face. Sometimes the faster edge rushers on the right hand against the weaker right hand side. So what is it about left tackle for him? And on the flip side of it, Caden Wallace was a really good right tackle in college. Are they just looking at him as a left tackle to fill the position, or do they like what they see from him at left tackle?
Yeah, I would say with Caden Wallace, it's more the second thing right now, looking at him as an emergency type of situation, because you have to remember they're also practicing without Calvin Anderson as well. So they're down some tackles now with Vidarian Lowe getting banged up in practice today. So really what you're left with is Caden Wallace, Chukwuekorfor, and then two guys in Killen Dyche and Zuri Henry who are long shots to make the roster. So if you're talking about first team reps, then you're probably going to put Wallace in there before either of those guys, and Okorafor is trying to get ready for the season at right tackle. So that's where I feel like you end up with Caden Wallace today at left tackle. But to your point about Vidarian Lowe and right tackle versus left, I talked to him about this last year, and he was so much more comfortable playing on the left side because that's where he played in college. He was a left tackle at the University of Illinois. That was his position for multiple years there in that offense, and so he, by trade, is more comfortable playing on the left side. And it's not that easy because everything is flipped, on the right side versus the left. Your inside hand is now your outside hand, and your inside foot's now your outside foot. So you're driving off a different foot. You're really punching in a different way on the right side versus the left. So some guys just feel more comfortable on a particular side. Chooks feels more comfortable on the right side because that's where he's played. So I definitely look at Vidarian Lowe as a better left tackle than right tackle. That doesn't mean that he's, can be fitted for a red jacket, but I definitely feel like he's better on that side. And that tape last year definitely proves that as well.
Yeah, Michael Onwenu has also said that Lowe is, made a lot of strides as well. And when the other offensive linemen say that, they're all working together. I just got a couple more for you.
Sure.
What happened with Mike Purcell today? Why did he get cut? Did he get beat? And then let us know about the kicking competition.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about Purcell because he actually goes back a ways with Jerry Montgomery, who's their new defensive line coach. Montgomery coached him in college, recruited him to college, and was pretty high on him when I talked to him about it the other day. So I was a little surprised by that. But the main thing there is that Jeremiah Farms has just had an outstanding training camp. He's been good in both preseason games, been good in practice, and they really feel like he's emerged now as, they have Godshaw in there, they have Aquale in there. Dietrich Wise is kind of more of an end, but he's an interior guy, and now they feel like Jeremiah Farms is going to step into that role as well. So guys like Purcell, guys like Armand Watts, who they signed in free agency, have fallen further down the depth chart, it feels like now, because of Jeremiah Farms. He's really made a push. So that's what I look at with that one. And then with the kicking competition, I was ready to call the kicking competition for Joey Sly before today. And now after today, I just don't really know if you are objectively looking at it without any real thought about the fourth-round pick that they spent on Chad Ryland last offseason. I don't know how you objectively look at these two kickers in the spring and the summer and say that Joey Sly hasn't been the better kicker. I mean, he's been clearly better than him in a lot of different ways, especially on distance kicks, like 50-plus type of kicks. Joey Sly has really knocked him out of the park on that one. So I feel like if the only way that Chad Ryland holds on here is because they invested a fourth-round pick on him, and it wasn't really them that made that pick right at the end of the day. So maybe they're not quite as attached to that. But if they're just being, if all things are created equal with these kickers, then Joey Sly is going to be the kicker.
All right, he's Evan Lazar. Hey, Evan, who starts on Sunday for the Pats?
Oh, that's a good question. I still think it's going to be Brissett. Mayo said today that all four quarterbacks are going to play, but the way I feel like the setup is going to work is a lot like that Carolina Panthers game where Brissett will play the first series, maybe two, and then Drake May, I think, is going to take over with the starters at some point, and then he'll probably continue to play into the third quarter like he did against the Eagles. But I do think he's going to get a couple of series or maybe at least one series with the first team offensive line and some of the regular playmakers too. But I think Brissett will kick it off, but I think May will play a little bit early with the starters.
All right, he's Evan Lazar, senior reporter, host of the Pats Catch 22 podcast. Does a great job over at Patriots.com. Evan, appreciate your time, and we're almost there, man. We're almost at the regular season.
I know. Can't wait. Anytime, Joe.
You got it. Thanks again. He's Evan Lazar, everybody, Patriots.com. We'll get a look at the Sports Hub headlines. We'll re-rack this, and a daily reminder about the Boston Celtics. We got to tell you what that is coming up after the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Red Sox 4-1 winners today. The rookies came through. Hamilton, Rafaela, bang, bang, boom. 4-1 win. They're off tomorrow. They'll take on Arizona on Friday. You just heard Evan Lazar from Patriots.
We had a good time. It's been an awesome summer. I've been having a great summer, by the way. But it's over with. Now it's back to work. Now we got the target on our back. Everybody's trying to come after us, and I'm like, come on. So it's back to work. And I'm looking forward to next season.
Basketball now, you think Boston, right? Maybe Team USA didn't think that. They didn't feel that way. We certainly did. They didn't. But to hear the alpha on the team and Jaylen Brown saying, last year is over. We celebrated. We had a good time. It's been an awesome summer. I've been having a great summer, by the way.
I love that line from Jaylen. Like, just in the middle of the answer, he goes, I've been having a great summer, by the way. Just in case anybody was wondering, it's been not worried about the Olympics. I've been enjoying myself. I'm having a good time.
But it's over with. And now it's back to work. And you saw his unorthodox training methods inside a pool.
I loved, I don't know if you saw KG's tweet about that, but he was, can't really read that one on the air, but KG very fired up about Jaylen Brown's offseason workout plan.
Well, I've been thinking about it, right? Like, I've never thought about dumbbells in a pool. But the resistance must be, like, really, really good for you. Plus, when you work out in a pool, it's less strain on all of your core muscles. Your knees and joints and all that, too. As a large man, I know a little something about going in the ocean. I don't feel the pain sometimes. I don't feel the weight. Let's be honest, I just don't feel the weight. That's why I like working out in pool. Sometimes swimming's a great exercise. Do you know that?
Oh yeah, big time. It's the best.
And think, if you're a larger man and you're just using your arms and your legs, you're not
buoyancy, Joe. Buoyancy.
There's the word I was looking for there. So Brown had a very good summer, right? NBA Finals MVP, wasn't chosen for the U.S. Olympic team, had the criticisms of Nike. Sounds like Brown has some extra motivation, and he wants it. He's also aware that Boston will get every team's best shot as the reigning champion. He said he welcomes the challenge. Because the other team said Boston's the target. He even said, now we've got the target on our back. Everyone's trying to come after us. Come on, baby. So it's back to work, and he's looking forward to next season. So Jaylen Brown's already working out for next season.
To come after us, and I'm like, come on.
Come on. That should be a good shirt. Come on. Just Celtics shirt, Celtics logo. Come on. Come on.
I think as a Celtics fan, this has been, maybe not from your viewing pleasure. It hasn't been the best summer in terms of, you wanted to see Tatum and Brown at the Olympics. But in terms of like a team looking for any tiny sliver of motivation they can possibly get. I mean, we've seen the Chiefs do it the last couple of years where Travis Kelce halfway through the season start talking about them being underdogs and those bizarre storylines that they create in their heads. But the Celtics, they have real gripes, Joe. They have reason to be, they have reason to feel slighted, at least. They have reason, for that extra motivation. So I think from a Celtics perspective, pretty good summer. These guys are coming back hungry. A lot of teams come back fat and happy sometimes, but certainly not this Celtics team.
I wonder if Denver did.
Well, they lost some players too, but yeah, maybe there's a little bit of that.
You know what else I feel? The talk of no more dynasties, the fact that there hasn't been a back-to-back winner in 6 years.
And how about the fact that the guy that said no one's going to, have another dynasty or do that is the same guy that didn't play one of your superstars and kept the other one off the team. So, hey, I'm all for, petty motivation, Joe. All for it. The pettier, the better.
Hey, what was that stat that you had or that you saw that the Celtics are one of the only teams in the league? It was yesterday. You sent me this stat that teams on the pick and roll, what was it? I'm trying to remember what it was, but there was one thing that the Celtics did better than every team in the league. They were like on their own as far as what they did. That was great.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. It was them basically defending like lobs at the rim, and they were so far and away the best team in the league at it. But yeah, I'll try and find it.
But, oh I also found, what's his name? It was Damian Lillard's top 5 or his favorite players. I didn't see any Celtics on there either. Wonder if there's a little bit of pettiness there from him. You know? I feel like they're all petty. All the NBA. I notice now everyone just kind of hates the Celtics.
Good. I think it's good. It's good for the league. Good for them.
Here's what it was. It was stretching the defense. How far away from the basket on average was other teams' rim protector standing when each of these offenses attempted a shot last NBA season? The Celtics were far and away. Their rim protector stood 11 feet, 4 inches away from the basket. I know they shot a lot of threes, but they did dominate around the basket. They won by a landslide. What a number there. Any other Celtic stuff for you?
No, I mean, I'm still enjoying it, Joe.
Me too.
Still enjoying it.
Every night on this show.
Path hasn't affected my enjoyment of it one bit, I'll tell you that.
Is McCarthy here on Friday?
McCarthy is in on Friday.
At 8:35 every night.
McCarthy and Kendra on Friday.
Kendra, okay.
2 hours of Kendra on Friday as well, I believe.
Okay. We were going to have Kendra on Tuesday night.
She'll be in Tuesday as well.
So double the Kendra, double the fun. I just got now I forgot what I was going to say. Oh,
8:35.
8:35. You tell them. Daily reminder. Don't forget about this one. The Celtics are the NBA champs on your flagship station of the Boston Celtics. They're the champs. All right, you know what's coming up next, everybody? In or out? We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
More Joe Murray coming up on the and Maz are just his pregame.
They've been getting wholesale deals for years.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Zone.
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is... People in the chat right now, Skaz. And again, it's real easy to do. You just go to youtube.com, search 98.5 The Sports Hub. You'll see me right there. You see a big picture of me in a Mr. Sid shirt. Click on it, bing, bang, boom. You can make a screen name, and then you can join the chat. I see Ryan and Malden in there, Riz, David, Jay, and Hull. I'm a lucky guy. Chuck Olson's in there, Tom G. Brokerage Babe is in there, JP, Tom G. They're all having their own conversations in there. George is in there.
Jeff checked in from the Creed concert a couple earlier.
Christina, our old intern, was in there.
Everybody's popping in.
Also, Kevin, our old intern, dropped off some gifts today.
Very nice of Kevin.
Thank you.
Very nice.
And Kevin made me a very nice graphic for the card show that I'll be doing on Saturday.
Interns helping out left and right.
Always helping out. Einbein's in there. Brother Bluto's in there. I don't know who a lot of these people are. We got some newbies. But join us on YouTube for In or Out, and you never know what's going to happen on the night show. So, Skaz, what do we got tonight?
All right, Joe. Wednesday night edition of In or Out. We're going to start with one we didn't get to last night. This was something you put in Slack yesterday. I got to say, I can't decide if it was innovative or not. I guess we'll let you decide, Joe, but one person at the beach was having a tough time getting their sunscreen on. So what did they do? They got a paint roller. Joe covered the paint roller in sunscreen and used the paint roller to apply sunscreen from head to toe. Joe Murray, are you in or out on using a paint roller to apply sunscreen?
Innovative. I got to tell you.
You vote innovative.
I don't know if I'm going in downstairs to the paint rack or to the store to get a paint roller for sunscreen.
The video you sent me was the person was doing this on the beach.
On the beach.
So they brought the paint roller
backwards
to the beach.
Now listen, I've gotten that weird itch on my back before that I can't reach, right? So you know what I do? I look for like a wall that has like a little stub.
You're like a bear in the woods.
I'm like a bear,
Joe.
man. I'm shaking. I do it all the time here at the studio sometimes.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, just get a nice little rub. You know, I start kicking my leg like a dog. All right. There needs to be some etiquette when it comes to putting on sunscreen. I'm a beach guy, so I use the spray. I'm a sprayer. I spray front, back, feet. Now, it's hard to get all back, I got to tell you. Feet is very important. I wear Crocs now at the beach, so...
you don't want that burn pattern.
By the way, you got to see the...
Name? Should have a name? I don't know.
I don't know, but like, let's just use State Farm for an example. State Farm could use Drake. They could use Patrick Mahomes. They could use Aaron Rodgers, right?
Well, they have Jake as well.
And they got Jake, and they got Chris Paul.
The second Jake, not the original.
Yes.
That guy got kicked to the curb.
The first Jake was out. Now there's Jake, but not Drake. Anyways, they could at least like...
What, are we going to get like a Flow insurance or whatever it is?
Oh,
I
actually kind of like that group.
Oh, boy. But like, is that where this is headed now? We're going to get like streaming platforms from companies? I'm out on that. Out.
Now that you've put it that way, I'm out.
No, thank you.
Someone wanted to know about the cow. Does the cow have a name?
Oh, I'll do a quick search.
All right. I'm kind of curious if the cow has Chick-fil-A cow. They do have really good sauce, though, huh? Pretty good chicken sandwich, too. People sweat Chick-fil-A a little bit, though. Like, I can't wait in a line all the time for that.
They're just called the cows, according to Chick-fil-A.
I need something better than that.
All right, Joe. Well,
what if the cow's name was Chick?
Sure. I'm still out. It doesn't change anything.
I'm out.
All right, Joe, we will head to FS1 for this one. FS1's new show, Speak, will feature Joy Taylor, Keyshawn Johnson, and Paul Pierce. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Paul Pierce joining Joy Taylor and Keyshawn Johnson?
And here's the deal. I won a lineman competition in 1999 at a skills camp. It was a special team. I was up front. And I won a Keyshawn Johnson throw me the damn ball poster. And I had it in my room all through my high school days.
Was that Bucks Keyshawn Johnson?
No, this was Jets.
No, Jets Keyshawn Johnson.
This was Jets. Throw me the damn ball. And I'm a big fan of Keyshawn. I actually think Keyshawn does a really good job. As far as the talking head goes, I think he's pretty good. Keyshawn Johnson was one of the first, I shouldn't say the first, but USC athlete, performed, star player. He was a diva receiver, let's face it. But he turned that into a career. Ocho Cinco tried. Terrell Owens really couldn't. A lot of these premier wide receivers. Steve Smith's doing okay.
Randy's great at it, I think.
Randy's great, but he has to work on it. But no, I think Keyshawn had it, had it. So I think he's kind of you're right. There's been Michael Irvin's done it for years. But I think that it's more about, their personalities. Keyshawn is a personality, but I think can actually be an analyst. Paul Pierce and Keyshawn together, that's some serious West Coast swag. One kid from Inglewood, the other one, that's... I wonder if there's going to be some West Coast bias there. And both of them played on the... times 52. I'm out.
Quick math tells you that you're out.
The 7 hours of walking a day, I'm out.
Carrying up to 30 pounds and wearing a VR headset to go along with that 7 hours a day walking. Yeah, I don't know if the payoff is worth it there.
But why is Tesla, it's a car. Why are you walking?
It's for their new Optimus robot, Joe. They're learning.
No.
You don't want to be part of helping the robots learn?
No, because they're going to take over the world.
You're just speeding up the process doing that.
Out. Do you know what Steve Forney just sent me? His Ring doorbell app tells him they have a podcast. Would you want? We already do. We got to bring back Tales from the Ring.
Yeah, it's almost that. We're a little closer to Halloween, but yes, we're getting there.
We need a Tales from the Ring.
We got a couple banked. I think you sent me some over the summer. We got a couple.
I actually have them all saved in my phone in a folder. I keep getting them every day too. It was funny. I got one the other night that said "loud bang" outside, and I wasn't home. And when I came home, my wrestling figures were moved. So I feel like maybe there was another earthquake.
Ghost.
Because my wrestling figures are in a really nice case. They call Detolfs. Really, and I had to make them. They're very nice glass case.
With this one tonight, you're familiar with the YouTube show Hot Ones?
Oh yeah.
Where Sean Evans hosts every week, gets a pretty famous person on to discuss something they're pushing. But tomorrow, Joe, a little different on Hot Ones. The guest on Hot Ones tomorrow will be Donald Duck. Yes, the very same, Joe. Animated version of Hot Ones, I guess, or at least Donald will obviously be animated. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Donald Duck appearing on Hot Ones?
Is he going to talk like Donald?
It's him. It's pretty good.
I can't do it. I suck. Out. Actually, you know what? Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this. You ever saw the Naughty Donald Duck or heard the Naughty Donald Duck?
No, I'm familiar with the segment we used to do involving a naughty, but I can't recall Naughty Donald Duck.
Do you know how I was moaning and JP was moaning about food?
Nah, those are in the system. Don't you worry.
Imagine Donald Duck moaning.
No. No, thank you.
I think it's a meme. I remember E-Bombs World? It was like
oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, they had one of those,
That'd
too.
make you grow up quick there.
Yeah. Hot Ones. Like, Donald Duck's not a real person. Why?
Yeah.
Out. Like, if they're going to eat buffalo wings that are hot, how's Donald going to eat them? He's a cartoon. Out.
I'm with you. Out.
All right. That it for tonight?
That is going to do it for a Wednesday night edition of In or Out.
Let's see. If you had the choice of a pedicure with a cheese grater or to roll suntan on your back, which one would it be?
Neither.
No, you have to choose one.
I'm taking the sunscreen.
Me too.
Get that grater away from me.
Next time I look at a cheese grater, it'll never be the same. Oh. Oh. Blah, blah, blah. All right, we got to go to break. Well, actually, we got to hit the headlines. Sorry. Hey, in like 3 weeks, we got to be on time, the clock and everything like that. Won't be able to have fun. We'll try. All right, we'll get the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBC FM and HD Boston. We've got the Patriots covered.
Back to the home. He's in trouble. A sack.
It's an all-new season for the Pats, and you'll hear it all right here. 98.5 The Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox 4-1 winners. Today, the bullpen was outstanding. They got 2 home runs from their rookies, and well, they're off tomorrow. They'll take on Arizona on Friday night. Patriots camp today. Vidarian Lowe left with an upper body injury. Still quarterback competition. All the quarterbacks are going to play on Sunday when the Patriots take on Washington. And Bo Nix is the starting QB, named the starting QB for the Broncos today. Headlines, they are brought to you by Feldman Geospatial with offices in Boston and Worcester. For all your survey services, you can count on Feldman to get it right from the ground up. FeldmanGeo.com. I'm Joe Murray. Next update soon.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian.
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. We got the musings at the end of the hour. We'll get into more Drake May. Red Sox winners today as well. A lot more going on the show tonight as we are here until 11 o'clock. 617-779-0985. We'll talk to you guys right after the break.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
All right, back here in 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We are here tonight until 11 o'clock. Of course, reacting to the Red Sox win today. Patriots play on Sunday against Washington. We just did in or out, and we got the musings at the end of the hour. But I did want to bring some awareness to ALS. Of course, this is the 10-year anniversary of the Ice Bucket Challenge. And, of course, Pete Frates, great friend of the station. I did want to welcome in Michael Pitt. He's the executive director of the Pete Frates Foundation. And he joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. What's going on tonight, Mike?
Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I know that you're a busy man, and you guys are celebrating 10 years of the Ice Bucket Challenge. I know ESPN has done plenty of stories as well, but just talk about, obviously, your relationship with Pete and where you guys are at, and can you believe it's been 10 years, man?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's wild. Makes me feel old. Yeah, 10 years ago, didn't have kids running around and drive me nuts. But it's wild looking back. So, yeah, we've had a busy August. As August 1st, kind of the unofficial marking of the 10-year anniversary. That's where kind of the momentum took off. But yeah, my relationship with Pete, some people know, but Pete was one of my closest friends growing up. So we met first day of football practice freshman year at St. John's Prep, and it's funny. I'll never forget because first day freshman year, you don't know anybody. It's kids from all over the North Shore, and you're just trying not to stand out, right? You don't want to get picked on, whatnot. Pete is in there with a bright orange jersey because, he played Beverly Pop Warner, and they're orange and black. So it's like he stood out like a sore thumb. But that was him. He was always just a confident in who he was. And, we became buddies that day and ever since. So, I couldn't have been, more honored and privileged when talking with his dad and mom, John and Nance, and, just seeing where I could help the foundation. And so here I am, and here we are 10 years later.
Yeah, I know you guys have a page over at PeteFrates.com, but obviously your friend was affected with ALS, lived it until the end, but what education have you learned? I know you guys have an education page on the website, but what have you learned? Have you run into other people as well? And just, what's inspired you along the way?
Yeah, it's I can still remember when I got the news. It was another good friend of ours, St. John's guy. It was right. It's funny. I used to work at the Harpoon Brewery back in the day. And I was on my route just hitting, different bars and stores. And I get a call from my buddy Jeff. And, he wasn't in the area. Don't talk too much. So I was like, oh, great. Pick up. And he told me, had I heard, and that, Pete got diagnosed with ALS. And like most people back then, I was like, oh, ALS. And he's like, Lou Gehrig's disease. And I was like, oh, yeah. But, not really knowing what that meant. I just knew it was really bad, right? And, it's great now that from 10 years ago, the awareness piece that, Pete is responsible for and all of us are responsible for, right? In perpetuating kind of that knowledge base. And but it's great that people know what it is, but it's just, it's like Pandora's box. You kind of wish you didn't know about it or you didn't have to know about it because it's so brutal and it's so awful for the individual. But then, one of the biggest reasons for me coming on and as the executive director is learning, and I saw it with John and Nance and Julie and the rest of the family, but it's not just an individual disease, right? It's a family disease. It affects everybody, loved ones, caregivers, friends, and not just the emotional toll it takes on seeing, how ravaging of a disease it is, but financially. Unfortunately, it's known as the bankruptcy disease because they tell you, the doctors, with their bedside manner, when you get the final diagnosis, they're obligated to let you know that, hey, on top of all these awesome things that are about to happen, this is going to cost you anywhere from $200,000 to $250,000 a year out of pocket. And the reason for that is that insurance does not pay for any of the care associated with staying at home. If you go to a short or long-term facility, they'll cover that. But if anybody's had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing a loved one in one of those facilities, that's not a place where you would want to willingly send anybody to live out their last days. So it's tough, pulling the curtain back on that as well. And that's a huge impetus of why I came on and why I want to continue Pete's mission and helping others. When Pete started this, it wasn't for him. He knew he couldn't make a dent for him. He sat his family down. He said, there's nothing we're going to be able to do for me, but I can get the word out and help others. Mm-hmm. And so he did that with the awareness and raising money for research. And I want to continue that for all the people struggling currently, right? The people in the front line. So,
yeah. Well, we'll try to help. We'll try to help with some donations here before we get out of here. But we're talking to Mike Pitt. He's the executive director of the Pete Frates Foundation. I've had a chance. I've met Pete. I've met his family. He's done some stuff with our radio station. And I know you're right. I think knowing him, I think he knew what was going on with him, but he was, trying to carry it on to the next person or help the next person. But funny dude, right? Like great athlete, funny dude, great personality, even towards the end, right? He's just a funny kid. Always, right? Even in a hospital bed, there was a report. You heard about the false report about his passing, and he's like, "No, I'm still here, man." So it was. He's just. He had his brother, same thing. They all have it with him, and you mentioned the stress that this does cause some families. So I know you guys are doing a ton of events. And again, people can check out PeteFrates.com. Over $220 million has been raised, and it all started with the Ice Bucket Challenge. And I know you guys are doing a ton of events. You do have a golf tournament that's sold out, but who knows? Maybe you guys can get some sponsors. It's up in Ipswich, right over at Turner Hill?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yep. This coming Monday, Turner Hill. It did sell out, and thankfully 7 years in a row going strong, but always room for more sponsors or people to kind of put their name in the hat for next year. So we've had a really busy August. Obviously, we started off with the kickoff at Fenway Park, and the Red Sox were great about hosting that. And then kind of the next one after the tournament here is, so Ray Bork has been kind of a mainstay since the beginning, since Pete was diagnosed. It's funny, Pete and Ray share the same birthday. And so Nance always tells a story of, every morning when Pete's birthday, she'd go in and say, "Happy birthday, Pete." And he had a big poster of Ray Bork above his bed.
Wow.
He said, don't forget the big guy, Ma. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how things come full circle, right? So Ray's been a huge help when Pete was with us, and since he's passed, him and his family and the foundation have been even more involved. And so on September 19th this year, we're going to have the third annual Captain's Ball. It's a collaboration with the Frates Foundation, Ray Bork Foundation Black Tie event. It's going to be an awesome night. It's going to be over at SOA, Black Tie. And, so anybody that's looking to have a great time, the Bruins are heavily involved. Get a lot of the local celebrities and sports guys involved in the mix, and it's a great night. So that'll be coming up September 19th. You buy checkout tickets on our event page on our site, and just kind of keep pushing.
Yep, PeteFrates.com. You can get those tickets. Ray Bork, friend of the show, love Ray. Me and him always talk food whenever I see him. Not hockey. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that.
Oh, yeah.
It's just forget about the sports. We talk about the food. But yeah, Ray Bork, the Family Foundation again. That will be on September 19th, and then Skaz is with me. He's a big golfer. But you guys at the end of the in October, mid-October, you guys got another golf tournament that you're looking to do as well.
We do. So we have a tournament down in Bonita Springs by Naples, down in Florida. So, the Frady's family has some roots down there. So we're trying to take advantage, and obviously we have a strong Northeast presence, but really trying to spread it and just help gain more momentum for the foundation, because a lot of people don't realize 10 years ago when the Ice Bucket Challenge was happening, we didn't have the foundation around. So it didn't benefit from the virality of all that. It was only after Pete passed, almost 5 years ago, that the foundation was started. So we're still trying to get our legs under us as a foundation and trying to help as many people as we can. So, yeah, we thought, hey, what better place to go golfing in October? Let's go to Florida. Where every other person from Boston goes. So we'll be down there.
Nice. Well, a nice little getaway. Just go right in. Maybe you can go into Fort Myers, take the ride up there.
Absolutely.
It'd be absolutely outstanding. Mike Pitt, Executive Director of the Pete Frady's Foundation. Of course, you can check out everything at petefrady's.com. And you guys got a shop over there as well. So I like those hats.
Yes, sir.
I love me some swag, okay?
That's right. I know. I remember last time we talked. I gotta get your address.
I need a big guy hat. Like I got a size 8. I got a size 8 dome.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So last time we were up at Ray's place, I brought the hats over, and he's like, I can't really wear hats. I got a big dome. I go, Ray, don't worry about it. You can wear this one. And it's Ray Bork approved dome.
Oh.
And he's got a noggin. So I think you'll be able to rock it.
All right. Well, yeah, it's like, again, a size 8. I don't know what happened. They had to make me a special football helmet when I played. So it's and then when I go to Lids and I'm like, do you have any size 8s? And they look at me like, let me go in the back. Hang on a second.
Right, yeah. What do you got in the back?
Yeah, or what they do is they get that little hanger thing, and they pull all the ones off, but it's the one way in the back. And that's always me. And I know Boston College. You mentioned St. John's Prep, BC. Everybody supports the Pete Frady's Foundation, and you taking it upon yourself to really get things going for the family. And in Pete's name, it's you're doing God's work, my man. And we'll pump everything out one more time. People can donate. There's a bunch of events going on. Again, the Ray Bork Ball, that would be great. There's still some tickets available for that. You can go to petefrady's.com, and then, hey, why not? Why don't we go to Bonita Springs to get a little golf tournament in late October?
Little weekend getaway. Why not?
Can't beat that. Mike, appreciate taking a few minutes here on the Sports Hub. Again, petefrady's.com. Donate. Again, there's Pete. Always wanted to try to help the next person and to continue this on. It's great what you guys are doing, man. And again, check out petefrady's.com. He's Mike Pitt, Executive Director of the Pete Frady's Family Foundation. Mike, appreciate taking a few minutes, man.
Joe, on behalf of me and the family and foundation, can't thank you enough and Sports Hub. You guys have been awesome. Always have been. So I really appreciate it.
You got it, man. We will catch up down the road, and I'll be rocking one of those hats at some point.
Yes, sir. We'll send you a bunch.
You got it. He's Mike Pitt, everybody. Thanks, man. We'll catch up down the line, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care.
Man.
All right, and everybody go check out the petefrady's.com. Again, it's the 10-year anniversary of the Ice Bucket Challenge. $220 million has been raised, so appreciate Mike joining the show. We'll take a quick break here. We'll get you guys caught up in everything happening in sports and headlines, and I see you on the phone lines. We'll get to you coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox 4-1 winners today over the Astros. They get tomorrow off. They will play Arizona on Friday. And
midday, Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
Drake May had lousy footwork at Carolina. The comp was Herbert, and he made a couple of plays last week, and I got to be honest with you, he looked physically like Justin Herbert. He literally looks like him. He's raw. How raw do you think he is?
I'm not sure he's quite as raw as people think. He had a few things he has to clean up. He tended to drift to his left in the pocket, and that you have to clean up in the National Football League because otherwise you create your own pressure. But I think that he's comfortable. I mean, he came off some reads and went through progressions. I thought, again, it's preseason, so we have to understand what we're talking about. But you can still look at a quarterback in a vacuum. You can isolate his play without worrying about all the other things. And he looked comfortable. He made a really good deep ball throw to Baker that he dropped. He went through a progression on a dig ball on 3rd and 6 that looked very, very comfortable. I got a chance to speak to some coaches at North Carolina where he played. And, you know, they told me in their mind there is no bust factor at all with Drake May, that you have to know the kid, know the way he works, know how he sees the game, know how his teammates respond. So I like Drake May. I thought he was the toolsiest quarterback in this draft, Colin, because I got a chance to stand next to him. I don't know if you've ever seen him in person.
I haven't.
But he's a big dude, and that is a trait. 6'4", 225 is a trait.
Oh, Greg Cosell. Yeah, I know. I was going to say. I had to look it up, but the nephew of the late broadcaster Howard Cosell, known for his football knowledge, former NFL analyst. I'm Howard Cosell, and this is Joe Namath. I don't have a good Howard Cosell.
What's better, your Cosell or your Donald Duck?
What about my Keith Jackson? I'm Keith Jackson. Alabama won the sophomore. What about the John Madden? No, we try. Tough acting, Tenactin. I don't know why I go to Tenactin when it comes to Madden. Or Turducken. So basically, Greg Cosell says that dude can play. He got a chance to speak to some of the coaches at North Carolina. They told me in their mind there is no bust factor. I don't think there's a bust factor either. It's the bust factor is the Patriots. But number 3 overall picks have not worked out, guys. It's very true. But I think in a way Drake May just plays football. He's not. I don't want to say he's not a smart kid because I don't know him. But I think he's just like one of those guys who goes out there and just hammers.
I think we said it on draft night that there's like a little bit of Gronk in his, press con. He's just kind of a happy-go-lucky guy, like just wants to play football. That's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, and he goes, Drake May being on opening day, I think that's a good question. The biggest thing is for me.
I can't tell if you're doing Boomhauer or the guy from Waterboy.
Oh, no, he's got a little bit more of a grunt. Like, man, it's on the defense.
Yeah, I don't think Drake May sounds like that.
No, but I've talked about this, but any referee that I've ever associated, specifically in football, not baseball, not basketball, but referees in the Massachusetts area, maybe people could back me up on this, but they all talk with like a southern accent. It's like, all right, they got the defense, the offense. Down. It's like, dude, you're from Revere. Like you're at East Boston Stadium and like penalty on the defense. It's like, dude, why do you talk in the southern accent? I feel like it's only football officials that were like that. Anyways, let's take some calls. Colin's in Westfield. Hey, Colin.
Good evening, Joe. I told Muhammad Ali what a big storm it was. And remember when they would joke and they said that brought Muhammad out of his antisocial? They became like best friends,
Him and Howard Cosell were very close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Skaz is a big Muhammad Ali guy. Do you know that?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, he's his family member was close to Muhammad Ali.
They were, buddies. I got a lot of Muhammad stuff at my place.
Oh, that's awesome. It's such a great piece of history. Hey, speaking of history, I get a kick out of the people that are saying the sky is falling. It's the worst loss the Red Sox have had. And trust me, I've seen them take some dumps. However, when you have to look at with the amount of time that we've had and going into Houston and winning those two, at this point of the season, Cora has the most pinch hits with the most success in home runs. Durant has the league-leading doubles, I think at 36. And the only person to get the 62 doubles better than Durant was Ted Williams, which is probably one of the greatest hitters ever. And like today, Yoshida stole his first stolen base of the year. And here comes Cesar Rafael, who can emerge and knocks him in. And this is the other big thing. People keep forgetting. This is you're dealing with polished, professional, top-tier teams like the Astros and the other league-leading divisions. They went from saying we didn't stand a chance to seeing we have potential, and we have bursts of greatness, which at the right time of year when healthy can continue on. There's more positive than negative based upon what we've performed with, what Cora was given, and what he's done with it.
Absolutely agree, Colin. And let's see if they can keep it going now. Day off tomorrow, then they get Arizona. It's a tough stretch for them. Can they make it 2 more weeks? By the way, David Hamilton, remember how bad he was defensively? Seems to be a big part of the team right now. Kevin is in the car. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm really enjoying the show. I was actually calling about football, but I will just throw something out there. I was really moved by the Pete Brady's conversation. On Columbus Day weekend every year, the Angel Fund does a thing for the ALS. It's a 100-inning baseball game. Actually, 98.5 covered it last year, I believe. And it's literally a 100-inning game. All the proceeds go to raise money for ALS. So I love what you guys just did there, and for the Pete Brady, it's a son of a gun of a disease. It's horrible.
Yep.
But they play at Legion's Field in I believe it's Quincy.
That's right.
Hey, what I was actually calling about, and just have some levity at night. So these Survivor, it's so hard as you talk to people about how do you pick your Survivor, the death pool picks. How do you pick your first 4 weeks? I'd love to hear your take on what's the best way to do that, because, with the season now, it's hard to know who's any good the first 4 weeks, and that's when you really need to survive. So, love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm in a bunch of I'm in one Survivor pool. I have one suggestion. Don't take the best teams early.
You wouldn't feel confident about taking the Bengals week 1, Joe?
Yeah, but then you can't use the Bengals anymore.
But you're assured to make it to week 2.
So, technically, you could take the team that plays the Patriots every week.
I mean, I have done pools where, like, when the Jets are really bad, or, like, you just find an old Titans or Jaguars team or something, you just pick their opponent every week. Are the Patriots, they're not going to be that this year, are they?
I think
every week?
I think the Patriots are going to be I've bet on it.
I know. I think they're a bottom 5 team, but that's a tough realization there, to realize your team is the Survivor pool. Peg, you're like, who's ever playing the Pats this week? That is unfamiliar territory.
I'm really looking at that Bucs division.
I think Baker's going to be all right.
I think they are too.
The Panthers stink.
I'd fade the Saints. I think they're down.
I think the Saints stink.
So I think the teams that have been hyped, I think this year they get the hype. Falcons are one of them, right? Who's another team that I think is actually going to be decent is Buffalo. I know they're taking a step back. I just feel like they develop really well.
I know it's, the Diggs thing, but I almost think that helps them. Like, Josh Allen doesn't have to deal with Stephon Diggs. Yep. He doesn't have to think about, oh, man, Diggs is going to be pissed if I don't get him the ball here. They're going to be working in rookie receivers, different guys. I think Khalil Shakir is a pretty good player. So, yeah, I mean, I think Buffalo's going to be all right.
I have a gold 1 of 1 Khalil Shakir.
I think he's good. You're hoping he's good, Joe.
Oh, I got to get that thing graded, baby. I've been holding on to that one for a long time. Survivor pool, it's really luck, man. All that stuff's a luck. I don't really have a strategy for you. Just don't take the best teams early. That's all. That's all I got for you on that one. Dane is in Foxborough. Hey, Dane.
Hey, Joe. Thank you for the previous segment. That was great. But I wanted to know if you have purchased the new NCAA 2025 football game. Because I know you're a big
I have not
NCAA guy.
Yeah, I have not played it yet, but I watch it on TikTok. I go on TikTok and I watch people play the game. And I hated watching people play video games, but lately I've been watching it.
Do you know if they do more than Division One?
I think it's just Division One, but I think you can create your teams. I don't think they have FBS. You know what's funny? Actually, some teams do have FBS teams on the schedule, but I think they mock them up. I don't think they're the actual teams.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, thank you.
You haven't played it yet?
Yeah, I got it today.
Oh,
but my son's on the Cape, and I promised him I wouldn't play until he got home.
You're a good dad. What part of the Cape is he on?
South Yarmouth.
Yarmouth, nice. Captain Parker is out there, Skipper's house. I love it out in Yarmouth.
Yeah, good food.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was just wondering, because I went to D3 school. It was more than
what school did you go to?
One. University of Wisconsin Stout.
Ooh.
Which, yeah.
I wonder
try and find that on the map.
I wonder if Wisconsin plays them this year. There's all these teams play one like FBS school. I bet you Wisconsin basketball, not the other school that's in Division One. I bet you they play that school. But yeah, you know what else you can do? You could create your own program, and then start drafting, start recruiting.
Just get hammered.
That's right.
But, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Wasn't expecting that at the end there.
Hey, his kid's out of town. Sounds like he was having a good night,
He's
Joe.
like, kid's out of town waiting to play the game. I might get hammered and play it without him. But no, that's a good dad. All right, well, we were going to do the musings, but you know what? We got a break. So maybe we'll do the musings at the top of the hour. Why not, right? In this hour, the Sports Hub has been brought to you by our good friends over at Valvoline and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off the next drive-through oil change. At Valvoline and Oil Change, now open in Rainham, Reading, and Braintree. I'm Joe Murray.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Murray's Musings, 98.5, the Sports Hub. Before I took the night show, I was, I auditioned for a show that today was told. Guys, I feel good. I feel like things worked out for me today. This is Musings, right? Joe Murray's Musings. I'm going to muse, damn it. I think 98.5 made the right choice making me the night show host and bringing Skaz in. And here we are every night now talking with you all and starting a YouTube channel that has 70 people in there right now. Riz, Ryan, I see you all in there. So I think things worked out. But I thought about it today. Certainly thought about that. I also took the Chipotle challenge. I showed Skaz my portions. Of course, for those who don't know, Chipotle, there's a memo going around that they need to add more portions to it. They loaded them up, so I got to give them a little bit of credit today. What else is going on? What do you got going on, Skaz? Anything? Oh, you know what you said today that I think was great? You can't be 5'8" and angry is what Skaz told me today.
It's not an original take, but yes, it's the truth. It's from the great Kyle Bauer. You can't be 5'8" and angry. If you're 5'8" and under, Joe, you just gotta be a little goofy. You know, it's just the way the world works. It's no good. No one wants to be the angry little guy.
I'm not a sizist. I am a large man, so please don't, look at it as I, critique people because of their size. I would never do that. But I feel like 9 out of 10 people under the height of 5'8" are all angry.
Little Napoleon complex.
Is that what that's called?
Believe so.
You can't be 5'8" and angry.
You just can't.
When you said that to me today, I almost fell off my chair.
Not doing anybody any good. A taller guy, you get a little leeway.
Well, no, it's kind of like being a fat guy or someone who might not be attractive.
Gotta be funny.
You gotta be funny.
Gotta be a good person.
Or have a little bit of dough.
There you go.
Get what I mean? Dough. Little belly dough. But yeah, I mean that. Like, yeah, you can't be 5'8" and angry, and you can't be fat, not funny.
If you are, you're just making life harder than it has to be. Yeah, the chat's having a time.
What's going on in there right now?
Just a lot of facts. I'm 6'4". Facts. A lot of agreement, Joe.
Short dudes love to drive big trucks. Oh, that's a fact. You know when a dude's in a big truck with a loud engine, he's got little energy. Einbein says he had a boss who definitely didn't like him because of his height. Oh, yeah.
A heightist.
Oh, my God, yeah. Listen, you know what? I love all the cops out there. I love all the police officers. But when you're out and you're the biggest guy there, they pick on you. Oh, yeah. Growing up in the city of Boston, they pick on the biggest guy. Out. Out.
A lot going on. A lot going on in the chat.
Again, this is why you have to join our chat on YouTube. But yeah, if you're a small guy under 5'8", you got to be funny. Can't be angry. There's a lot of little angry guys.
The bagel boss.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah. So, I was a fan of the show Sex and the City. It was really, Skaz, really
They
good
brought
show.
it back, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, they show the reruns still or whatever.
I thought they
rebooted. I think it's called Carrie Bradshaw. I actually don't know. I didn't watch. But back in my heyday, guys, it used to be Sex and the City Sopranos back to back, like Bing Bang Boom Sunday night. Imagine that on a Sunday night. So, there's this episode where do you know who Samantha was? She was kind of like the always single one, I guess is the best way to put it.
Is that Sarah Jessica Parker?
No, she's Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so I have no idea.
Her name was Samantha Jones is her name on the show.
It's a very original name.
And she met a smaller guy who was very, very, very confident. But she felt as though she couldn't get with the small guy. But he was like saying things to her, and she was like turned on by it. So, and she was telling her friends, like, I don't know, he's small, but I don't know. So all of a sudden she started to like, get into it. Do you know what turned her off?
Stuff. I feel for the short kings out there.
And that's what, you never know. Some things turn you on. It's funny. And we don't have to do this tonight. There are some weird turnoffs.
Icks, I believe they're called.
Oh, they're called icks?
Icks, I believe is what they're referred to now.
You know what's, can I give you?
Hold on. Nervous.
No, it's more about how do I present it. One ick. This happened in my 20s, okay? I'm 42 now. I don't know why this popped. How something just pops in your head? This is what popped in my head. An ick. During the old dating days. Couldn't do it. I don't know what it was. The cast threw me off. It was an ick. The cast threw me off. It wasn't an air cast. It was one of those ones that, like, you could have your friend sign.
Joe, the cast is going to come off.
Listen, I'm telling you, the cast wasn't coming off that night. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not even. There's many things I could say, questions I have. I'm going to refrain, Joe. I'm going to refrain.
I didn't even want to sign the cast. I don't know where this came from. Why? Joe, I'm random. People don't like me because I'm random.
People are saying this is very Costanza-esque. I feel like this may be a little Costanza in you.
Oh. I don't know what it was. It was the cast. Just threw me off. I was like, I got to go to bed.
Is that shallow, Joe? Cast?
No, this isn't going to happen tonight.
You're injured. I'm sorry, but I can't do it. You're not 100%. You're still on the IL.
Again, I was in my very early 20s.
You've matured. You've matured since then. Growth. We preach growth on the night show.
So that's an ick.
I suppose. I mean, I don't know.
Should I take calls on icks? I don't know. We should do that tonight.
It feels like a slippery slope right there.
Oh, someone called me shallow. I'm not shallow at all.
Cue up the Lady Gaga song.
I am not shallow. In the sha-la-la-la-la-la-lo. Oh, speaking of that, we haven't played any Creed.
Oh, that's right. Well, all the people that want to hear that are there, Joe.
Tonight's the Creed concert.
We'll get them coming home.
3 doors down.
We had people at Creed in the chat, Joe.
Whatever, Riz. Oh, my God, Riz. We'd get in trouble if we hung out with Riz. What do you think? Like out and about with Riz? Like we'd get in trouble.
I think we'd have a good time.
Oh, no.
The funniest ones I've seen, Joe, is there's these videos, TikTok, whatever, like compilation videos girls put together like of their man's icks. And the funniest ones by far is they take videos of them swimming, but like just below the water, so you can see just their little feet going like crazy, like when you see like a duck swimming. And I'll say, no one really looks good from there. Just your 2 little feet going as fast as possible. So I can kind of see that one. You see that and just be, oh, not great.
I'm reading the chat, right? And I remember when I was like, I don't know if I should do this. The brokerage babe is like, say it. Do it. Say it. Oh, man. Riz, I'm going to tell you right now, they always go after the big guy first. I'm telling you right now, Riz. At least in Boston, Massachusetts. I don't know about Rhode Island, okay? But they always go after the big guy first. Oh, Scaramuzzino? Who's your family? Right? That's what they would do to you. Yeah, what do you know on these guys? I know a Scaramuzzino. You know Billy down the street there from James is a painter and a contractor. You're like, oh, it's my uncle. Yeah. Right? And then that's what they do to you. Well, how would your uncle feel if he knew you were... Well, I don't want to tell my uncle, man.
The first time I ever got in trouble. I don't want to say that's exactly how it went, but it was similar to that.
I never realized they're called icks.
I think that's relatively new, but yeah, I've seen that the last couple of years.
Some other people are mentioning nose pickers.
Well, yeah, that's like a given. An ick is more like personalized, I think.
What about a weird tattoo?
Yeah, I think that's right up there. Like a big one, I think, is people that are like rude to like wait staff. That's a huge one.
Oh,
huge.
Oh, I called someone out recently for not holding a door for me. Right on my face, slammed. And I went, all right, nobody else is behind you. Don't worry about it. She was like, what are you talking about? I go, you didn't hold the door for me. Joe, I've been listening to you for over 3. Joe, where can I get a mac and cheese chicken sandwich?
Canada.
You got to go to Canada for that one, sir. There's more coming on that one, I'm sure, soon. Ooh, I got a this or that for the guys. I'll tell you off the air, Skaz. I don't want to spoil it.
I heard some bizarre calls into the midday today.
What? Okay, yesterday they did like duets, right?
Yes, there were some very good duet calls yesterday.
Which I think I've done before. But whatever, that's fine. So we're all have content. But what happened? They got real morbid today?
I don't think it was intentional, but yes, the string of calls I heard into the midday was definitely on the morbid track earlier today. Beetle put a quick end to it, though. But yes, it was oddly morbid for a period there.
You know, today was kind of a slow news day, wouldn't you say? Like we were looking for stories all day long.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A streaming platform will only get you so far.
There was nothing. You know what, though? Does that mean it was a slow day in the world? Like, there wasn't a lot going on today, so maybe, like, things are okay? Are we going to find out tonight, like, some stuff went down? Like, even the Red Sox played early. They're out. What do you think they're doing right now? Guys who write poetry and sing songs. Oh, yeah. Brokerage Baby. Have you ever seen the new Barbie movie? The new Barbie movie, it's basically like the girls just listen to the guys and watch them play like Matchbox 20. They just sing, well, I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty. And then they just watch them sing. If you haven't seen the new Barbie movie yet, you should. I think you would laugh at that. I'm told Yas Chicken sells mac and... I really liked Yas Chicken. Crazy good chicken and more than that. Oh, kitchen, sorry. Crazy good kitchen. That place is amazing. And this had to be... Okay, so when I was 18, okay, 19... So this had to be like 2000 and... Yeah, it had to be like 03, 04-ish. That cast, man, just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. All right, we'll take a quick break. Aw, Andrew. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe. I see you guys lined up on the phone lines. I'm reading the chat. I got to stop. We'll get to the break. We'll take your calls. Coming up on the other side, I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray. On the
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I didn't even get to do the birthdays.
That's twice this week.
Happy birthday to Kim Cattrall. That's Sam Jones. Go figure. I had no clue. That's the girl from Sex and the City. Now that's a coincidence. You can't. Yeah. 68 years old. Carrie Ann Moss, 54 years old today. Alicia Witt's 49. Casey Musgraves, 36. Hayden Panettiere's 35. Let's see who else. Usain Bolt, 38 years old today. Brody Jenner, who I don't know if I ever told you this, I worked in Marina Bay one night. I got out on a midnight shift, and there was a I think it was called the Bahama Beach Club at the time. I can't remember what it was at Quincy, but I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave Marina Bay because of a Brody Jenner appearance. The place was completely packed, and I couldn't leave that night. It was absolutely brutal. Surge from System of a Down. Wilt Chamberlain, obviously not with us anymore. Not sure if we have any other birthdays, guys. I think
Andrew Garfield's birthday today.
Okay, all right.
Jack Buck.
Okay. Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman winner. And that's all I got. I did not know this was going to go where it went tonight. So, let's start with Scott on the Cape. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? I wanted to know, without cast, 1 out of 10.
Would I have done it?
Would you have done it?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
Yeah,
So
it was the cast that threw me off.
Oh, well. Okay, best meat place on the Cape.
Best meat place, huh?
Where would you go to get the best meat on the Cape?
I don't know where I go for the best meat. My favorite restaurant on the Cape is Fisherman's View and Sandwich. I had a great meal at Skipper's in Yarmouth this summer. There's a place good meatballs, Banderas in Dennisport.
Love it. Banderas in Dennisport.
Yep.
Try across the street, get the barbecue.
Oh, yeah. At
Clean Anchor.
Clean Anchor. Yeah, I stay right around the corner there.
All right.
So that's what I said. But, yeah, the Banderas, great people. Dolly makes the best meatballs in the world.
100%. All right. Thank you for the call.
You're welcome. No, thank you for the call. Wally is in Peabody. Hey, Wally.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Well, I almost drove off the road when I heard you was talking about, I might be leaving while I was looking at a place. Don't ever do that.
I'm not.
Don't ever.
I don't want to leave 98.5 The Sports.
Well, you shouldn't.
But I was
listened to
part-time and I needed a job, bro.
I know, dude. I totally understand it. I've been with you ever since you've been part-time, all along. When you said that, I'm like, oh, my God, please tell me he wasn't going to, that other station that had the big shake-up this
day.
They
didn't want me, Wally.
You know something? They didn't want you because you're the best. That's why.
I appreciate that.
So, a couple quick things. One is, it's funny you talking about Sex in the City, and Kim Cattrall's birthday was
I know
today.
Wild.
Well, she's still hot. I don't care. All right.
You know what? Though, is she an ick? Like, I don't know. Like, clearly she was very sexually abrasive on the show, right?
She was.
But
yeah.
But is that a turn on though? I don't know if that is.
It's not to me, but she was in a couple of other movies and stuff like that. I'm like,
I agree.
You know something?
Well, she's got it.
She's got it. She's got it going. Quick thing on food. So, if you're ever in Beverly,
yes.
2 places you got to go. The Anchor Pub, which I'm sure you've been there.
Yeah, you know who was there this week?
Yeah, I do know because a couple of the girls at my work were like, oh, my God, he was there and we weren't there. I'm like, yeah, he's married. Don't worry about
Channing
it.
Tatum, everybody.
Yep. And the other place is Privet McGee's.
Oh, yeah, dude, we used to drink at, what was the one? You'd go to the Pickled Onion Or is it you go to Fibbers, then walk
through his stuff, and he's not going to tear the building down.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I used to work for the North Shore radio station, so I know the area very well.
Which one was that?
1049.
Oh, my God. No kidding.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Dude, I love listening to you. I love all your philosophies on things. You're just the man.
Trust me, it is not a philosophy. It is
in my book, it is. We're men, and it is a philosophy.
Okay. I appreciate it. It's just Joe theory. It's really all it is. Craig is in Worcester. Hey, Craig.
Hey, Joe. How are you, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Big fan. So, last night, I'm listening to you, and you're talking about the KFC mac and cheese. And I haven't had KFC in 20 years. And tonight, I went for it. I made my own. I got the 5-piece tenders. I got a side of a large mac and cheese. And I had some potato rolls at home. You mentioned the potato roll last night. So I threw it on the Martin's potato roll. And I put some mac and cheese on the bottom, mac and cheese up top, threw 3 of the tenders right in there. I recommend.
It was good.
So homemade. You don't have to go to Canada.
How many moans? Like if 1 to 10 moans, how many moans would you give it?
I would say about 9 moans.
Oh,
so it was a tasty treat. So you got me. You got me with those moans last night.
Oh.
I'll be in Worcester on Saturday, Craig, at Polar Park at the
Polar Park. All right.
Flippin' Card show. I'll be at table 34 and 35.
Well, I'm going to stop by to see you. I live right over there.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Oh.
How many moans do you have back there, guys?
Too many, Joe. Far too many. I've started labeling them as getting tough because I have to write Joe Murray moan new 2024 is new. It's like you're like Taylor Swift, Joe. Every week she's coming out with a new version of a song to bump somebody else off the charts. Every week we're getting a new Joe Murray sounder.
Oh.
We even have caller. It's JP Sounders now.
What's JP Sounder? Do we have that one?
Oh.
That was last
That's
night.
JP.
And what about Craig we just had?
I don't have Craig yet, but here's Joe Murray from last night.
Oh. Tom is leaving the casino. Hey, Tom.
What's up, dude? I'm up 20% at the blackjack table. It's shuffle. I cut it in the back third. 3 dudes sit down. We lose 3 hands in a row. I get up and leave. Is that the right call?
Yeah, because the bad dudes brought they're the coolers.
Right?
Yeah. But you never know the right time to leave a table. See, if I'm comfortable and have a good seat and I don't know, where do you like to sit at the blackjack table? Do you like to be the first guy, the last guy, or right in the middle?
Yeah, first base all day.
So you're first base all day. I also like when I get an ace, my dealer says, "Good luck with your ace."
That's right.
And I will tip if I get a blackjack.
Absolutely.
Yep. But yeah, bad vibes at a table, you gotta go. And the thing is, if you don't like the people you're with, if you're not working together, I'm out.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks, brother.
All right, man. Well, how'd you do? You did all right?
Yeah, up 20%.
Yeah, you were at Encore?
No, I was down in Rhode Island, Bally's.
Oh, how was that tonight?
Twin River, it's all right. There's still a lot of smoking going on, so it's, you got to tolerate it.
Yeah. All right, Tom. Well, I appreciate you calling me. I'm glad you made your 20%. What are you gonna do with that 20%?
I don't know. Probably give half to the wife, and I don't know, buy a couple pizzas with the rest.
What kind of pizza?
I don't know. All I got is Greek near me. It's not great.
Yeah. Would you drive a little distance for something good?
Yeah, I could. I could hit out Sturbridge. They got some brick oven out there. It's
They
not
do?
bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sturbridge. I like Sturbridge.
Yep.
Yeah, I know the area.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Teddy G's out there. You ever
Yep.
been there?
Hell yeah, dude. They got like 32-ounce beers on draft. It's awesome.
Dude, they have a really good buffalo mac and cheese. It's huge.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. All right, man. Well, Teddy G's and the wife.
All right, thanks, brother.
Later, buddy. That went well. That went well, I thought. All right. A nice loud thank you when the person in front of you doesn't hold the door is always the move. Joe, in a text message once about 15 years ago, someone spelled the word supposedly soup visually, and I never spoke to them again. Now, some women, maybe men are too, according to this man, but women are big on grammar.
Yeah, that would bother me. If you're like constantly misspelling stuff or like, that would probably get to me over time.
Can I give you another weird ick? I got a couple.
Here we go.
I got a couple. I don't like when people write LOL all the time. Like everything they do is like, I'm at home, LOL. I'm watching TV, LOL.
Yeah, it's not funny.
No, LOL means you're laughing out loud. I only write LOL when I am really laughing out loud. I don't know what that's like a pet peeve more than an ick, I guess. What was the other one? I had another one just in my head. What were we talking about? LOL was the other one is you ever notice like there are some people who just always hang out with their family? They don't like hang out with what do you do? I'm with my cousins. I'm with so what do you know? We're going to my cousin's house. Me and my cousin, my guy. Do you have friends?
Joe's ick, being close to your family.
No, that's not the ick. It's just that, like, they do everything with their family. Everything. Even in photos. It's like they take selfies all the time. And this is a red flag. If there are only selfies and not any friends, out.
That's more of a red flag than an ick, though. That's a red flag. You don't see any pictures with friends, yeah.
Everything's just a selfie.
Red flag.
No friends, out. All right. Icky Woods, Riz. Einbein's LOL and Riz is LOL. You better be laughing out loud. You better be laughing out loud. All right. I wish Kendra was here for this.
Kendra will definitely be contributing to the ick conversation.
We need to. Again, I know I won't be here on Friday night. Matt McCarthy is going to be in. So tomorrow's the last night of the Joe Show. And then I'll be on Felger and Maz on Friday because I'm going to Worcester that night. And I get the card show, as I mentioned.
Worcester.
Yep. And so Friday I'll be on with Felger and Maz. And McCarthy will have Kendra in studio. So I don't want this conversation to happen that night. Okay, guys? I'll communicate it with Matt if I have to.
No ick talk?
No ick talk on Friday night.
Feels like you're poking the bear there, Joe.
You got to wait till Tuesday. Because you know what's going to happen? I'm going to start a list. I'm going to get an ick list. Because I think I got a lot of them. Somebody wrote, I literally got no friends. That's why I'm always in chat.
Always welcome in the chat.
Always welcome in the chat. All right. Final headline of the night. Hey, it's Eddie Edwards from Peabody. This is like random wrestling station on in here right now. Kind of liking this. What were we talking about? Oh, headlines coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Red Sox won 4-1 tonight. Their rookies led the way. Hamilton, Rafaela, All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Tebow on Twitter. 10 minutes in the car listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Zero sports talk, all food talk, never change, Joe, never change. Hashtag 9 moans. And then someone called in and said it's not LOL, it's MOL for moan out loud. Which is very funny. Very funny. Well, not a lot going on today. Just besides Gerard Mayo talking out of both sides of his mouth. I still don't know who's in charge. I still don't. Being completely honest, I still don't know. I have a feeling it's Jonathan and Robin telling Elliott, who's telling Gerard, but they're telling Van Pelt. So, like, one's running the offense, one's running the defense. Truly feel like that. But let's catch up with old Drew Bledsoe. Let's do the Bledsoe on the young quarterbacks first, guys. I know Bledsoe was on Good Morning Football today. Drew Bledsoe was my favorite player growing up. I had a number 11 jersey. I had his rookie card. He was out of Walla Walla, Washington, and went to Washington State. And again, his rookie year, he threw to Vincent Brisby and Ben Coates. Let me see if I can find any of the others. Okay, so it was Vincent Brisby, Leonard Russell, Kevin Turner, Ben Coates. He had Bruce Armstrong. Eugene Chung was a rookie and wasn't good. Let's see, who else was the wide? Brisby. Who else was a wide receiver? Oh, Ray Crittenden. Wow, what a name. He was on that team. Trying to see if there was any other wide. Greg McMurtry. Wow. Not a good wide receiving core. Marv Cook was on that team too. Anyways, Drew Bledsoe knows a little something about playing early on. He talked about potentially Drake May or rookie quarterbacks playing right away.
You know, it's such an individual decision for each quarterback, right? Some quarterbacks, I felt like I was ready to play, right? I felt like I, was ready to get in there and go. But then you've seen other quarterbacks that sit for a year or two, and it's very beneficial for them. And so I think that coaches, as they're looking at these guys, they have to determine, okay, is it the right time for this guy? Is he ready to go now? Because you also have to take into account, is your team ready for them to play? Because you put a guy in there early and your team's not at that level yet. Now you can mess with that guy's confidence and mess with the rest of his career by throwing him out there when your team's not ready to support him. So there are a lot of things that go into it. I don't like the idea that sometimes there's pressure to put these guys on the field just because of where they were drafted. That's the wrong way to approach it. You got to look at the guy and look at whether he's actually ready to go on the field and whether your team is ready for him to be on the field.
And as we know, the Patriots aren't ready. No premier talent, no offensive line, suspect coaching staff. Haven't dropped that one in a while. Rookie coach. A lot going on there. And I think the schedule's the number one reason why Drake May should not play right away. Schedule's difficult, especially early on. Speaking of someone making their first appearance as well, is one Tom Brady. Tom Brady will make his appearance this year on the Fox broadcast. And Drew Bledsoe, again, who was a big part of the roast of Tom Brady this year, talked about Tom Brady, how he will be in the announcer's booth. Let's hear from one Drew Bledsoe.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster, what's your initial thoughts as someone who knows him pretty well?
I'm sure he'll do a great job at it. And the thing that people look at they miss when they talk about broadcasters and whether they succeed or fail, it's the guys that do the work that are great at it. And it's really that simple. You look at Aikman, you look at Romo, there's guys that broke in and like everybody looks at Romo like he's predicting the future. How'd he predict that play, right? Well, he went to practice. He saw what they ran from that formation, and that's practice, and that's what they did, right? So I know that Tommy will work it to death. I will get kind of tired of his squeaky ass voice, but I know he'll do a great job calling the games.
I don't want Brady when he's like, hit him in his hands, hit him in his hands. He does have a squeaky voice. I love how Bledsoe just can say whatever he wants about Brady. That's just one thing that I love.
Yeah, because like, what's Brady's never going to get mad at him.
That was his mentor.
What does he care?
Tom Brady owes his life to Drew Bledsoe. Tom Brady owes his life to Drew Bledsoe.
Or Mo Lewis.
Do you think they've ever talked, Mo Lewis and Brady, on the side?
They've had to have at least run into each other, right?
How many text chains do you think Brady has?
None.
Really?
I mean, like, I don't know. He's probably getting a new phone all the time. If I'm Brady, I don't like. People are probably trying to like Edelman, Amendola, probably trying to get him in a text chain all the time. Like,
Edelman's always trying to get him in one. Yeah,
like gnats hanging around.
I can see Welker, Edelman, Amendola.
Did you notice in that clip when Brady was talking about the wide receivers that worked hard, the ones he loved working with most? Who was the first one he said? Wes Welker.
Wes Welker.
Your guy, Joe.
Who I think should be in the Hall of Fame. And again, do yourself a favor. Look up Wes Welker's career stats. Then look up Julian Edelman's career stats. Edelman only played for one team in his career. Julian Edelman did more in his Wes Welker did more in his Patriots career than Julian Edelman did his whole career with the Patriots. Like 100-yard catches year after year, and people only know him for what? Dropping a catch in a Super Bowl. I think he was the best slot receiver in our history. And one day, I think he will go to the Hall of Fame. A lot of people will go in before him. Rodney Harrison, guys like that. For my money, Wes Welker was the best slot receiver. And it's now a position, right? Isn't it now a position? Nose guard should be a position. Wes Welker did more as a Patriot than Julian Edelman did in his career. Now, you can look at the playoff stats. That's a big difference right there. And again, here, we only consider things when it matters. And Edelman did things when they mattered. All right, that's it, Skaz. It's time to go home. Thank you, everyone who hung out in the chat tonight. Really fun night. Tomorrow, we got a big show. Simi Pejanovic, John Serenides, New England Football Journal. A lot going on. It's the final night show with me. I'll be in Friday with Felger and Big Jim. And then a couple of nights next week, and then it's Labor Day weekend. So for James Scaramuzzino, I'm Joe Murray. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.